Just in time. Woo, I'm wore out. Hey, Shadowhawk.
Hey, Rick. Hold on, I'll be right there. Oh, where
Oh,
where are you?
yeah,
Oh, there you are. Okay.
yeah.
Whoop.
Oh,
I just dropped you. There you go. What's happening, Rick?
oh, echo on YouTube there. I had to mute myself.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Woo, been running around doing some things for mom. You can tell it's bright, huh? That
Yeah, oh
sunshine.
yeah, yeah. Look at that, man. Nice and sunny over there.
Yeah, it's 54, I think.
Are we
54
live yet or
degrees.
no? Oh yeah, we
Yes,
are.
we are. Yes,
Okay.
we are live and international.
Well, you're in trouble, man.
I'm in trouble.
Yep.
I think I got my wrench back from Vic's. What am I in trouble back for now?
You'll have to talk to Caroline about that one.
Oh, well, I did tweet her and tell her that
Oh, okay.
I had to go run errands for mom. So
Oh,
hopefully she sees that on Twitter and
yeah.
will
I
forgive me.
I I
Yeah, I
got the
didn't go to
invite.
the
I got the
drinking stream.
yeah, I got the invite late, and I just popped in
I,
probably
I
about a half hour
Mom
ago.
had a list of stuff for me to do, so
Hey, you got to take care
you
of
got
Mama.
to take care of mom. She's been, I got her some medicine, Robitussin, and made like 4 different trips, over
Oh,
and to get everything. Well, maybe
oh,
4 or 5 trips to get everything. I got my through the woods yesterday, so good thing I took a second. It was sitting on my stoop to get it, but I didn't do the unboxing yesterday. So this was the copy that I won from Anthony from on Dark Gifts.
oh yeah, very cool. Oh, you're
Glad to
gonna get
get
some.
this. I mean, he had different
Yeah.
projects, Kickstarter, CG, but now this is the early CG, through the woods, as you know, Vincent's. So, and this is one that is still in demand, I believe, after a while now, year or two. But yeah, that's a
Yeah.
print. That's
I
kind of
I think that was Vinny's first Indiegogo project or
yeah.
CG
Well, there
project.
you go. He
Well, Vinny is more
CG
CG adjacent, though. I guess.
CG
Technically.
history there. Now,
Yeah.
this is kind of bent under here, but you can't beat free. Free is pretty nice.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. It's a beautiful book. It's put
This will
together
press.
nicely.
Oh, signed print. Kind of
Yeah.
curled at the bottom, got curled under the book, but
Yeah. You
no
can flatten that
complaints.
out.
I can press that out.
Oh yeah.
Uh, nice nonetheless. You can see it's kind of curled there at the bottom, but
Yeah, a little bit.
it's not blunted. I don't think it's done on like photo stock paper. I think very nice, glossy.
As long as it didn't get creased, you should be all
Hey
right.
James. No, it didn't get creased. Just kind of
Okay.
turned under there.
Yeah, yeah, you
Sign
should be
there
all
in
right.
silver. Very nice. I
Hey,
guess
Jim.
I
How
guess
you
you
doing
got
today?
this, so this might bring back some memories for you.
Yep, yep.
Do you get this?
I got a different print. I didn't get that one.
So I got his autograph. That's great. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. You got a
The
different
book
print
might
than
be
that,
the book may be signed as well. I'm not sure. Maybe.
and this is in a big wanger type thing,
Yeah.
a plastic baggie.
Big wanger cap.
Yeah, I was one of those that was fortunate to get one of those Ziplocs.
I'm telling you, man, if he would have just signed and numbered them,
Yeah.
nobody would have complained.
Uh, well, if they complain about that, now here's through the woods, I guess a little ash can type thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sketches, roughs, and more.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's nice.
Very cool.
Oh, on the back there, nice little black and white and gray tone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then the book, it fits pretty good in that bag. I might keep it in that but I do want to look at it, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So take it out.
Yeah, I got
Looks
mine
like
up
their
on my shelf.
little logo is a coffee mug or a mug filled with pencils and brushes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Mela World or something?
Mellow World. Yeah.
Mellow World. Okay.
Mela. Yeah. For
Oh, Mela.
Tartamar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's Vinny and Frankie, his brother's company.
Well, if you can't name your company after yourself. Nice back. Look at that.
Yeah, very cool. Look at that black sensitive. Get your fingers off there, Ray.
Hard back. Yeah, well, it is black sensitive, but it's a hardback. That's a good thing. You can wipe these things down.
Yeah.
It's a little different than
Yeah. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Bookmark skidding out of here.
Yeah.
So it has a bookmark.
Check on the inside front there. It might be signed. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. That's a little bookmark with all their information on it.
Yes,
Very nice. Like I say, you can't beat free, huh? Oh yeah, it's signed.
Yeah, no, that's
signed in there. I'm not going to open it up too much. Oh, it's double signed by both of them.
Yeah, Vinny and Frankie. Very nice.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, I believe Frankie
CG delivers. How about that?
Yeah, you get a chance to check out that artwork, dude. Vinny is
I finished my piece on topic list. All I needed was the top of his head and some of the back shading.
Oh, very cool. All right, so you did make it to top of the list last night, huh?
I did make it after about 50. I think I went in at like 55 minutes, and the only reason I made it was your text to me.
Oh shit!
I slept, woke up, and it was not in my head whatsoever.
Yeah, I think I dropped out like right before you got there.
I think you must have.
I was trying to hang, man, but I was getting tired last night.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Like I said, I just woke up from falling asleep in the recliner. So,
yeah,
no biggie.
Well, yeah, drinking a little extra heavy last night too, because
a little. Well, I mean,
well, I knew I didn't have to wake up this morning because I was getting
right. You slept in soundly. I don't. Yeah.
Oh, I woke up. I popped in and checked out the chat for a minute, and then I just went back to sleep.
Yeah, Caroline may be mad at me, but I have a good excuse, and I did tell her that I wasn't expecting to have to do all those errands for Mom, but the weather's supposed to be. Join me and Caroline. She sent you the link. Yeah, are they still going?
Yeah, they were right up in. I just left right before I popped on.
Okay, well,
like I said, I didn't even see the link until about, I don't know, like 3:30 or so. So I jumped in real quick. I hung out with them for a little while, and then I excused myself because it was time for the
well, I will go on there right now and tell her what went on.
Yeah, just go say hi. She was. I don't think she remembered, or she may not.
Hello.
Hello. God, that's bright.
Hey, I'm doing the 4:00 shadow right now. Sorry. I just thought I'd pop in and tell you what happened, and I did send you a note, Caroline. I don't know if you noticed it. I had to go see Mom, and I didn't expect that. She gave me a long list of stuff, medicine and other stuff to go get for her. So I ran to about 5 different places for her. Just got back, so that's why I didn't join you earlier. And of course, I and Shadow are over on this 4:00 shadow right now, but I thought I'd pop in and explain why I wasn't here.
Hi, Caroline.
Shadowhawk says, "Hey, Caroline." You told me. That's why I'm glad you explained that to me, because I was I was like, really? But that's okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pop back over to. I know I always seem to miss your streams. I hate it. But anyway, duty calls, and I'll see you later. You're both lovely people. I love you both. No problem. All right, we're back here.
Oh,
Today would
is
have
it
been,
just Vic and Caroline over there at the moment?
yeah,
Oh,
playing music. Now
yeah.
today, as I said, and you were asleep, would have been this man's 100th birthday, Stan Lee, uh, along with
Oh,
Marlena Dietrich and also Michelle Nichols that played
Stan
Ahura. It
Lee.
would have been her 90th birthday today. I failed to mention her birthday today, but
What'd you say this guy's name was?
who?
What'd you say his name was?
Stan Lee.
That ain't
This
Stan Lee.
this is Stan Lee back in 1966. Yes, it is, and you will know when you hear his voice.
Oh wait. Oh wow. Maybe it is
Yeah,
Stan. Holy
it
shit.
is.
Hi, I'm Stan Lee,
Oh, now
God
wait a
dang.
minute. Did you
Doesn't look
catch
nothing
that?
like
Let's
him.
back that up just for identification.
Hi, I'm Stan Lee.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's
That
Stan Lee.
doesn't look
Believe me,
nothing like him.
he used to look like this. You know,
Holy
that's
shit.
oh yeah. He used to look like this back in the 40s. You know, on up, and then the 70s facial hair and late 60s.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess I didn't really get to know his face until probably like late 60s, early 70s or
right.
something.
And I don't know what he did with his hair. I mean, he might have had a hair transplant. He might have wore a rug. I don't know, but
Man, yeah, he
yeah,
definitely let it grow, or something.
yeah, he did.
Hi, I'm Stan Lee, editor of the Marvel Comics Group of superhero comic magazines. Comic books have been a big business for the past 25 years, and they're bigger than ever today. With this in mind, you'll be interested to know that the Marvel Comics Group is the acknowledged leader in monthly sales of all comic magazines published today. As a matter of fact, our sales have tripled in the past 3 years, which is quite a publishing phenomenon. Our superheroes are the kind of people that you or I would be if we had a superpower, which sets them apart from all other superheroes published today and seems to be the reason that they're actually far more popular than any others. Now then, it would seem that the big problem is this: can the enthusiasm for these comic magazines be successfully transferred to another media such as television? We most definitely feel that it can, and for this reason. For the first time that we know of, we're using the exact same stories and artwork that have made our comic magazines so incredibly successful, using the exact same stories and art for a television
For a
Oh, is that
television show.
the original pitch for the animated like
1966, yeah, the
oh
Submariner,
dude.
Iron Man,
Yeah,
Hulk.
I love
Yeah,
those when I was a kid.
I did too, but they were, uh,
They were like
the
a motion
animation
comic
wasn't
type shit.
as good as Fantastic Four, Spider-Man when those came out.
Oh no,
Uh,
well it wasn't really even animation. It was like a motion comic. They would just
yeah, it
take the
really
image,
was. Yeah, yeah.
move it around, put
I
sound
don't
effects
have
over
all
it.
those. Actually, I'd forgotten about those till the early 90s. And about 1990, like I say, they started coming out with a lot of those in clamshells at Blockbuster Video. And I would rent them because I would check the children's section too. I like animation.
Uh,
And I watched those and said, oh, I remember those when Captain America throws his mighty shield and
yeah.
all that. Maybe not the individual episodes. And then when around that time, a little bit later, about mid 90s, I moved out of town here. The only time I've really lived out of town, except if you count when I lived at the homeless shelter for a year and a half. I was basically pretty much there, although I had an apartment here in town. And so when I moved over there, they had Cartoon Network. Jonesboro did not have Cartoon Network yet, or at least I guess you might get it in a cable package, but just on,
Right.
I don't even think they offered it here on our cable package yet here. But I was
Huh.
fortunate to see like the first 3 years of Cartoon Network, and Ted Turner owns all that, I believe, and he played a lot of the Hanna-Barbera, Johnny Quest, Speed Racer,
Yeah, in the
all
early.
the Marvel things, or at least the like Herculoid, Space Ghost, Dino Boy, all those that were so awesome back in the 60s. And and I recorded a lot of those on VHS. And then when I got a disc player, a VHS disc player copier, I copied them over to disc. Now, I don't think I finalized them. I can only play them on that disc, but I have a bunch of the early. I don't know if I'm missing disc or what, but I did have all 17 copies of the Fantastic Four cartoon as
Oh wow.
well. I think you can watch some of those on YouTube. I don't know if they're all on YouTube, but I'm right now I'm going through and watching Hercules from the 50s.
Oh, the one that Doc used in
That
your.
Doc used. I had
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
forgotten about that, but when I saw the little centaur, I was like, "Oh yeah, I used to watch this."
yeah.
And I think that came out in the late 50s to early 60s. They rarely did any reruns back then,
Oh wow.
before VHS or DVDs.
Right.
Uh, I guess VHS was going out in the late 90s, I think, and discs were starting to come in. Uh,
Um. Yeah, somewhere around there.
some of those low print, late VHSs that hardly anybody bought, that were released late at the very tail end of VHSs,
Right.
can be worth a lot of money, especially unopened and unused. Um,
Oh yeah.
even though after about 8 years, that tape in there, that reel in there, starts to degrade.
Right.
But still,
That's even
just
if
for
you
the
have them.
rarity, collectability of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
there are some that are worth some money.
But
Up
even
to
if you have them stored properly, temperature controlled and
right.
everything, that tape still be great.
It's kind of like celluloid film, and that brings me into the next thing that I was going to talk about. We talked about this on that today was, I think, in 1895 in France, the very first movie was shown in a quote movie house or whatever.
Oh, really? Was that
So
the
it's the birth of the movies as well.
what was I can't remember what it was called. I used to know this. I think
Let me see here. I have something on that too.
was it the one that was like the carousel type movie though? It wasn't actual film, right? It was where they did like the
Well,
almost animation type thing, but with the moving.
you want
I don't
receipts, don't you?
I don't remember it. I remember watching this documentary about it, and it was a different
Right.
way of like
Oh, they
making
had
motion.
different things. Yeah. Uh, Let me see if I have it here.
I don't know that much about the movie industry. I've never been. I was into special
Right.
effects and makeup,
Well, I mean,
but
it was the
like that
same
was
thing with here's a cool Stan Lee things. He says he's up in the clouds and he says, "Don't make me come down there, you punk."
there you go.
Here's Stan Lee and Michelle Nichols together later in life. He's
Oh,
doing the little thwip, Spider-Man thwip hand sign, and she's doing the live long and
live long.
prosper Spock,
Yeah,
Star Trek. Of course, they shared the
there you go.
same birthday, so that makes sense, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Let's see.
Were they weren't the same age though, right?
No, she was 90. He was 100.
Oh
Or
wow.
today. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
But she just is she still alive or did she just die recently?
she passed away this year.
This
Yeah.
year.
A
Okay.
few months
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I loved her as a hero, man. She was awesome.
Yeah. I told you a puzzle piece here is a picture of cards, Marvel cards, that forms the 9 cards that
Oh
you can
yeah,
put
that's cool. Conan.
that fo-
Oh hell yeah.
that forms Conan #1
Yeah,
cover,
very
I
cool.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'd
might
love to
have to
have
do
that.
something like that, Shadow.
Yeah, Those are very cool, dude. And what people have been doing with their card sets, even if they're not, necessarily a puzzle like that or whatever, but if you're gonna do, 6 or more, go ahead and put them into a like a an ultra sleeve, for a binder, and just
Right.
fold that up, into thirds and put it into
Right.
your Gemini mailer.
Right.
I mean, I've gotten full sheets from a bunch of people lately, and it's just great. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm getting
And
ready to have to start a whole new binder here. My CG binder is full.
well, maybe it'll be a momentum binder one of these days.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll make it. I used
Yeah.
to
I
have
mean,
fun doing
here,
that. When I was collecting cards, I made binders for everything. I would custom,
see,
do
here's
the
when
art.
he was Atlas Comics. Look at look back in the background, Unknown Worlds, Human
Yeah, that's what I was just
Torch,
looking at. Yeah, awesome.
uh,
Spaceman,
something
something
Spaceman.
spaceman.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Mystery Tales.
That
That was him
unknown
back in the,
world for
that
sure.
was
Yeah,
him
that
back in the 50s,
wow.
probably in the early 50s.
It just doesn't look anything like them later. You
Yeah.
know, so wild.
Yeah. I should. Uh, there he is.
This is good stuff.
The
Hey, how you doing,
mustache.
dear?
Hey, Mrs. Good Stuff. See, he probably has more hair there, right?
Right there, he looks like Charles Bronson,
I
except
mean,
skinny.
here and then, yeah, it must have been a rug or something, huh? Or hair transplant.
Um, yeah, I
My
guess.
dentist had a hair transplant, and there he is. See,
There
in
he
the
is. Now that's
70s,
the
probably.
Stan there. That's
Uh
the
huh.
70s Stan right there.
Yeah.
Look how
Oh,
tan
and
he
then
is, dude.
older in
Jeez.
life, huh?
I said, you see how tan his face was? He looked like George
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah, and he was a New York guy. He never went out
Yeah.
on the West Coast, as far as I know, except to
Well, to promote movies and stuff, but that was
promote
later.
movies and things like that, or be in a movie towards the end of his life.
Well, I don't know where he might have been out there for like the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man, the
Yeah,
live
that's
action
what. Yeah,
shows.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. TV or yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
How
sure
about
Stan got
this amazing Spider-Man scooter with friction drive?
it. Why is it pink?
I don't know, but that was worth the show.
Why is Spider-Man
Yes, and they put a lot of webbing there on him. Watch him go at it. I don't know if this has any sound or not when I blow it up. There we go.
What are you looking at here? Judo, mixed martial arts, karate.
Watch this.
Stop. Referee takes him out.
Oh man!
Take you all down. Nice.
I mean, he put him down, man, and they were like, he wasn't having it. The referee got involved, didn't he?
Yeah, he
It's
did.
like, I'll
That
take
was
you
a nice.
on.
That was a nice high kick. That one guy right in the forehead, dude.
Oh, it took him all the way down to the ground. Yeah. But the last one, he got shoved down, that other guy, and good thing he had the headgear on, because he was like, boom. You ever play cards with your dog? I don't, but this is look
No,
at
my
this.
dog cheats.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently this guy does too.
I don't know where she learned how to play cards, but yeah, you don't want to play poker with Daisy.
Looks like an all white Abby there.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You sure you want to play that draw 4, buddy?
That's right. Yeah.
Don't make me bite you.
That's right. Don't make me bite you. I think that's funny. I draw 4. You know my paws don't work that way.
So can only hold 2.
And yet you persist to do that to me. Oh man.
Uno is an evil game.
It can be, yes. I like Risk too.
Oh, Risk is
Here,
fun, man. I used to love that game.
here's how to properly put on a Band-Aid. You want to cut each. There you go. There you go. Just snip both ends. Then you can cross it, cross it, cross it, and cross it. There you go. That's a better way to put a
Ooh,
Band-Aid on.
fancy.
Huh? Yeah, fancy. Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah. But anyway,
Little tricks of the trade. We call those tricks of the trade.
yeah,
Oh,
I've always found that electrical tape works really well.
there you go. That's the look you want to have on your face when you're out and checkout.
Look at that giant head on the little puppy.
I don't know why this reminds me of the preacher lady
Like a
from Saturday Night Live.
bobblehead.
Who could it be? Satan?
Hmm.
Who was the actor that did that? What is his name?
Oh,
You
that
remember?
was Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. Okay.
Another Canadian freaking connection.
The birds up in the tree, they look
Hey,
like
Alhambra.
pigeons that said, "Hey, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Because he has
Oh,
his mouth open underneath him, swallowing
that's it.
snow there, catching the snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Far Side cartoon. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
El Hombre says, "Good evening, Devil Flyer." Momentum in the chat. El Hombre.
Howdy.
And you missed
Hola.
the George Carlin quote that I gave earlier today. Everyone appreciates your honesty until you're honest with them. Then you're an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's some sage wisdom for you.
George was a wise man.
George was a wise man.
Oh, baby flat.
Happy birthday 天天比圈大大的圆，我们是什么都最甜，烧酒等你新年。
Pitiful music.
What's going on?
I think it's a bobbing match. That one kid was like up and down, up and down, up and down.
I don't know what was happening there.
Here we go. Check this out. I think that says police. I think that's police boat. Docking skills. I got it. Look at that. How he just comes in. He's kind of coming in hot and heavy there, huh?
Yeah, he's coming in hard, dude.
He's coming in hard, yet he just...
Well, yeah, you got to be very familiar with that little stretch of harbor right there.
Oh, to come in that hard? Straight in like that? Yeah. Look at that deck gun on that thing. That's definitely
we used
police.
to do that on wave runners, but
yeah,
that's crazy doing that with
I don't know why he had something to prove there. Because he's coming in hard there. He didn't start to brake till about 10 foot away or less.
Yeah, dude. Well, you ain't got no brakes on a boat.
Look, exactly right. You have to know exactly.
Yeah, there's no such thing as brakes on a boat.
I mean, because look at this. He's right there. It starts to, and he's like 5 feet away, the very tip of it.
He cranks it over, reverses the engine, and watch him pull that nose down.
Yeah, that nose just scraping. You nearly, Look at that, and he just weaves it up there
right to a halt.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is some good driving, man.
It is, yeah. You got to know how to do it.
Yeah,
on the water, you got to be pretty seasoned to do that. Because he's coming in pretty hard.
I bet you all them guys on that boat with him were scared to fucking death, though.
He might have been the only one. I wouldn't have tried that with anybody else on there.
I don't know. Like I said, if he was coming in hot to bust somebody, man, I mean,
Beautiful, colorful bird.
that'll put the fear of God into the bad guys too.
God was like, let's see, a little green. No, let's try a little yellow.
Oh,
Well,
that's a
maybe
pretty
a little
bird, man.
orange, a little blue.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Tropical bird, I bet you. Those tropical birds seem to be,
I would imagine,
very colorful.
Yep.
Very colorful.
But you know, the crazy thing about birds is it's always the boys that have the brightest color.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, like probably 99%.
Beloved pet, a Roman burial of a dog. The animal was buried with a vessel, I guess for like water. His head was on was bedded on a piece of leather. Even the Romans knew a life without dogs is possible but pointless, and that's from like 1 AD.
Hell, Phil.
So somebody loved their little pet, their little dog.
Oh, he's a little guy.
Gave him a little pillow to rest his head, and a little vessel there full of water, probably.
Yeah, a little bowl of water right next to his head. Wow.
Or food. Hey, Phil.
Yeah, might have been food. Okay.
Might have been what?
I said might have been food in the
might have been food. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, breed
well,
maggots.
Well, they said a vessel, though. Usually, vessel is more for water or liquid.
This was pretty interesting. A retake on Fantastic Four #1, the Unstoppable Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah.
I like that with Robot Man and Negative Man and Elastigirl and whatnot. Old style lettering. I try and get those homage covers to those classic covers that I really like.
Yeah, I got no problem with those. I don't know when. I guess some people have an issue with homage covers, but I mean, if you do it, as an homage, and it's not just.
You know what I say? Cool is cool. Now, Thundar the Barbarian, I actually subscribe to this guy that kind of does animation. I haven't looked at his backlog of stuff. Next time he posts something, but he had sort of like, he was looking at Thundar the Barbarian. And I did not realize that Alex Toth had started on, I don't know if it was because of health issues or he just timing issues or something, but he started doing character designs and stuff on Thundar the Barbarian, but then he couldn't do it. And that's when Jack Kirby came in.
Oh, wow.
To do character designs. Of course, I didn't know that when I was a kid. It was just pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I mean, I didn't know until just, God, not long ago that Jack Kirby was even involved with Thundar.
Here's some sort of a wind anomaly here happening at one of the pyramids down in South America.
That looks like, yeah, it's pretty wild, like a Mayan pyramid. Dust devil.
I'll back it up. When it first, it looks like it's coming out. I guess it's going right by it. Look at that.
El Cuculcán está enojado.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what I said.
That would freak you right the hell out, wouldn't it?
That would be cool if you went down there, like, to...
yeah, if you were the guy filming that was standing away from it, but if you were one of the ones that was right next to it,
there you go, another classic Gil Kane cover.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Poor old Thunderbird, he didn't last very long.
He didn't, did he? 2 issues maybe in a Giant Size Annual?
2 or
maybe
3.
Maybe 3 appearances before they killed him off?
Yeah, and then they bumped him right the fuck up.
Well, I think, it was probably done for the shock value, don't you?
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but I think he might have been the first X-Men to die. I think he was. And then,
maybe.
Maybe. And then, Claremont, he started killing people left and right after that.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Here's
Well,
a
alternate
classic.
futures and what
Here's a
have you.
classic
But,
Walt Simonson Joker and Batman piece.
oh yeah,
I can't. I
yeah,
don't think I
Simonson's
have an
goodness
issue
right
number on
there,
that.
dude. Oh,
What? You want me to bring
right
it
when I
back
thought
up?
it, and yeah, I was trying to embiggen it to get a
Okay,
better
there you
look.
go. I'm bringing it back up.
All right, thank you.
It's kind of dark in this one, but
Yeah, a little bit. I just wanted to get a look at that Joker face and shit. That's just,
yeah.
that's good stuff.
Simons is a good choice for a Joker story, I think. Man, he was
Yeah, I mean,
awesome in some of his early Dr. Fate stories.
yeah. Oh, dude, his Dr. Fate stuff is great.
And in case Lorenzo shows up, here we go. We have some lizard
Oh,
representation
it's
for
a little
Lorenzo.
lizard.
The lizard.
A little lizard.
You say that's a gold dust day gecko.
Gold dust. He doesn't look gold at all.
Well, he has little yellow beads.
Oh,
If you
I
look,
saw a little. I saw a little red one. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I see the yellow now.
hey,
He
fatty.
looked. He looked mostly green.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. Oh,
How's it going?
what's up, brother?
Ho.
I did my first live stream today.
Awesome.
Oh shit! What time?
That's great.
It's a good question. What time it was? Oh god, did it stop at 1? I think it stopped at 1. I don't even remember
Oh
exactly.
crap, dude! I missed it completely. Sorry about that.
But no, it's no big deal. In fact, I'm kind of glad people missed it.
First one is never quite what you want it to be, right?
No, I don't. It's like, oh, I got to talk and be entertaining, huh? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Back in the
No,
day,
it's frozen.
Back in the day, I did not watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Donald Trump made an appearance on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode. It was called For Sale by Owner in 1994. He plays himself, and the storyline is he is interested in purchasing the bank's large Bel-Air mansion. The captions are actual dialogue.
Wow.
So I take it the daughter was not happy, and the caption reads, "Thank you for ruining my life." Then another scene, he's saying, "Everyone always blaming me for everything." And that's actual dialogue.
That's hilarious.
That's almost prophetic, isn't it?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Tom Jones appeared in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air classic scene. That's cool.
Tom Jones.
I didn't really watch Fresh Prince, so I don't know.
Phil from Zaid Comics says, "Yo, oh dirty fatty."
Hello, Zaid. Where are you? Where's Phil? Oh, I don't even have the thing. But here's a question. I got the freebie StreamYard. I didn't even know I had it downloaded.
You get 20 hours of free streaming time.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. 20 hours.
I have OBS. That's free?
Now for like $25 a month, you can get unlimited.
25 a month.
That's the next level up. Yeah.
All right. Do you? But to play a video on that level, how the heck do you get video? Do you have? Where do you have the videos? Where are they stored?
What do you mean? Like,
well, if you have the studio open, you have the studio page. How do you go to a video to play it?
You like this? Bring up a video and play it?
That's it? That's all I had to have done?
No. You have to share screen, and I usually share off share off of Twitter
okay.
things, but you can take them, if someone's doing artwork, digital artwork or something, you can bring that type of thing up. But yeah, this is just off Twitter. And you go to share screen and bring it up, go through the steps there and bring it up. you know, make a selection of what you have open there and bring it up and play it. But you have to jump over from StreamYard like this to play this one with Stan Lee. I had to jump over to Twitter and play it on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I get it ready here. I can, you know, enlarge it, totally kick you guys out, or I can totally kick it by bringing us back up. Or
those screens in the bottom.
Then I can bring it back up.
But the list of screens underneath the major window. That's what you're just choosing the different ones there.
Share screen. Yeah, you have different options there: mute, stop cam settings, share screen. Then that's up there. Stop screen, present, invite. You can invite people from there, although I don't. I usually just send out links on Twitter or Facebook, and then leave studio. That's the red button. You never want to touch the red button. Kick yourself from the studio. Well, while I have it brought up here, old dirty fatty, we might as well play it. I don't know what this is on, but Stan Lee on his 100th birthday. Let's give him another word here.
Marvel comic books, which started a new style in comics, more realistic. If you can imagine fantasy superheroes being realistic, that's the gimmick. Spider-Man. I mean, he's just as apt to have an allergy attack while he's saving the world, or he worries about fallen arches or his dandruff. One great thing I think about the Spider-Man costume, every kind of kid relates to him. You could be an Oriental, you could be black, you could be an Eskimo, but the mere fact that you can't tell through the mask what type of person he is makes it very easy for kids all around the world to empathize with Spider-Man. The Hulk, he has a little problem too. He turns into a monster whenever he least expects it. Yes. We have a character, Iron Man, who has a weak heart, and on and on. They've all got some ridiculous flaw, some Achilles heel. And I'm out here hoping to put these and other properties into movies and television shows.
Yeah.
That was on the Alan Thicke show.
Alan Thicke show, yeah. That was around maybe for a couple of years, not very long.
Yeah, but Alan Thicke was a real creep to him. Stan Lee made the best use. He did the best he could with that show. Basically, Alan Thicke he grabs the comics, he looks at them, oh, yeah. Anyways, and he throws them behind him, and he goes on to another subject, just completely dismissive, just to be a total prick. I'm glad he's dead.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You don't do that to Stan Lee. That's what I say.
Oh, who was that? You weren't talking about Stan Lee himself.
I was talking about Alan Thicke being dismissive.
Really?
On that very interview you saw him on.
Really?
He's a real creep.
Yeah.
His son's a pervert, and he's a creep.
Well, I wouldn't have liked that either.
Not happy.
Shadowhawk, I found your answer on this day in December 28th, 1895. The world's first commercial movie screening takes place at the Grand Cafe in Paris. The film was made by Louise and Auguste Lumiere, two French brothers who developed a camera projector called the cinematography. I think I said that right. And here's a picture of the two brothers.
Okay.
So
the Lumiere brothers. Okay, I remember that. That was okay. So that was the documentary.
And that was how many years ago? I mean, 1895.
Oh God, long time ago. Yeah.
Today, 1895, a long time ago. You are correct, sir.
Well, here's an interesting thing. I was thinking about the history of animation, the history of film. You know, live action film actually happened before animation did. You know, before cinematic animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a much more involved process.
Well, I mean, very early on,
there was some stop motion animation and some early silent film and stuff.
In the gentleman that worked on Mighty Joe Young with Harryhausen and worked on King Kong. He was
the one famous something.
O'Brien was his name.
Yeah, that's it. That's the name.
But even before that, you had like in 1904.
Really old one.
You had that dinosaur, Gertie the dinosaur.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
that
about
was
that.
Early animation. So animation was there from the very beginning, and color was before film was ever invented. You had them color tinting, hand coloring each
like you're talking about
Yeah.
with
film.
the Phantom of the Opera with the one Red
Exactly
Skull,
right.
that
Yeah.
Red Skull scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
even before that, you can see a dancer dancing around. They have every panel painted, you know.
Yeah.
They
Little
had been
neat.
doing that for a while.
Well, actually, was supposed to be the first film, The Great Train Robbery, full length feature, whatever. They
Right.
there was that credit. I don't forget if it's opening or closing credit scene where they're shooting the camera or the gun at the camera. Well, actually, they're shooting it in a mirror that's the camera's focused on, and they painted that. They painted those cells of the explosion of the gun going off. So it was
Yeah, I'm just
real
amazed when I
early.
look at like Metropolis and some of those movies. How did they do that? The lighting effects and different things. And in some instances we know, and in some instances we don't know. This is an interesting little video. I haven't played it yet, but it's Stanley's Girl Friday. I thought it said girlfriend at first, but Girl Friday. Flo Steinberg. Okay, so she was one of the few women that worked in comics back then. Kind of
Yeah.
his discussing the Incredible Hulk and collecting comic books in 1970 in animation.
Nowadays
So
she would be a PA.
a PA. Okay.
Personal
Not a peon, but a PA. Gotcha. So here is Flo discussing that. Wait a minute. There we go.
The Hulk is a large, monstrous, green-skinned fellow who changes into this form under emotional stress, and it sort of puts him into two different personalities, sort of like a Frankensteinish monster. Hulk shows a very interesting aspect of society, the fellow who's completely disliked and hated because of what he looks like. And in many issues, if you will read them, you'll often see the whole United States Army and National Guard all getting together just to get this one large person who just wants to make friends and find a little warmth from people. And of course, they just judge him on his green skin, run away, which embitters him more, which sets up more stress, and he does become paranoid and homicidal.
Wow.
It might seem strange to still as an adult to be reading comic books, but I look at it as another literary form which sort of satisfies your visual senses also. You can have your eyes being bombarded at the same time your mind is. I have a fairly adequate comic collection of sorts. I weeded them out in some years. Now I have about 600 to 700 issues. They'd be worth, I think, today about $2,500 in a retail market.
Wow.
Now she actually
where
did
was she
write
from? The Deep South? I'm not sure about that accent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's probably Queens. I actually met her.
Oh, did you?
When I was interning at Marvel, and I didn't realize it was her. Someone had to explain it to me later that it was her, because she didn't look like her, like you would think she looked like. Like you've always seen she looked like. It was her,
Right.
and it was actually, as soon as somebody told you, go, oh, that is her, yeah. But she was just doing proofreading of comics, and she would have to have. I always saw her like in the corner, this one far corner of the office in a little dark area, and she'd have to have a noise machine, or she would use a Walkman that would have noises in it, just random noise, so she could concentrate on what she was reading, because she said it was such horrible garbage. She's never read anything that bad before.
Comics, the
yeah,
comics she was proofreading.
yeah, she just did not like the state of comics at that time. She's like, oh, this is the most horrible garbage I've ever read. How can they produce this crap?
When was that? What time period are we talking?
It was during the Perlman era, late 90s, probably like 99.
I could see that.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, she was not happy.
That was when I bailed on Marvel and DC.
It was pretty.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
I kind of stopped a couple. It didn't hold my interest there for a couple years as well. Here's another video we'll play. Give equal time to Steve Ditko here a little bit.
The comic book heroes were not about life as it is, but creations of how a man with a clear understanding of right and wrong and more courage chose to act, even if branded an outlaw. He dispensed a better justice than the pervading legal moral one. He was a moral avenger. He was not like everyone else, not the average, the common, or the ordinary man. He was the exceptional one, the uncommon one, the one doing what others were unwilling to do, regardless of the opposition and consequences to himself. His success provided a better model. Through a hero, one could identify the foolish, the corrupt, and the guilty. An anti-hero corrupts the moral good, chooses the flaw over the perfect. The perfect is identified and measured by what is possible to man, a perfect bowling score, a perfect response accepts the truth and rejects the lie. The perfect hero on principle says yes to a true identity and no to a contradictory one. Ruled by justice, he treats every identity as it deserves. He is the actualized potential for good in its purest form, a true moral measuring ruler. He is the most human and deserving of respect. Today's flawed superheroes are superior in physical strength, but common, average, ordinary in mental strength. Rich in superpowers, but bankrupt in reasoning powers. They are perfect in overcoming the flawed supervillains, saving the world, the universe, yet help us to solve their common, ordinary, average personal problems. It is like creating a perfectly physical adult with the reasoning limits of a 6-year-old. The creators of flawed ideals believe that no real difference exists between a flawed hero and a flawed villain. Both have some good and some bad in them, so they blend into a grayness where no one is better than anyone else, and where the worst can justifiably claim that he is as good as gray as the best. If it is impossible to know what is true and to do what is right, then the flaw, the worst, will be the new standard of good. Man will be defined as a flawed, anti-rational animal, and all that corrupts and harms life will be the new virtues. Like deliberately flawed eyesight, where self-blindness is the ideal, anti-like behavior will be the new standard for living. The resentment against the perfect hero is a resentment against A is A, against the integration of truth and behavior, against the non-contradictory identity of a moral ideal, against reality and life's measuring ruler, a rational moral standard. The comic book hero.
Wow, we're just talking about comics, aren't we?
No, he was a true believer.
Yeah, he was into Ayn Rand, right?
Yeah.
Ira Rand. That wrote
Objectivism.
Yeah.
A lot of what he did say was true, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I could sum it up a lot quicker. I just say, if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whole speech
That's
done.
a pretty good assessment. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
El
right.
Hombre says 90 comics were ass. Well, not all of them, but yeah.
Well,
I agree with that. There were a few.
If you
that
have
were
no
okay.
moral ground, where do you stand?
Oh, me?
You stand with everybody else,
anyone.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Anyone. If you don't have moral grounds to start with, then where the fuck do you stand?
And we have to show a picture of Jack Kirby. That was the big three: Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and Stan Lee.
Did you save that interview I posted in your chat? The Jack Kirby interview.
Post it again. No, I did not. I kind of swept right.
I don't know what I did with. Well, let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I even saw it.
And while you look for that, we'll hear from Stan again. You know, your 100th birthday only comes around once in life, right?
formula basically is to
Yeah.
mix
Once
fantasy
every 100 years.
with realism. In other words, we'll take a character who's got superhuman power. Let's say he can fly through the air, or like Spider-Man, he can climb on walls. We take him and we say, suppose there were such a character and he really existed in the real world. What problems would he have? What would he do if faced with a certain situation? I say, if I had superhuman powers, which is not for a moment to concede that I don't, what would my intents be? And what, for instance, wouldn't I still have to worry about dandruff, or about athlete's foot, or making a living, or having my dates like me, and so forth?
Yes.
So we take these bigger than life characters and we give them very lifelike qualities and problems, and that had never been done in comics before. You see, the heroes had always been just sort of cardboard characters who were always good, virtuous, noble, never worried about money, never had any problems, and they just went out and captured the villain. Our characters are a little different. It's sort of like continuing soap operas month after month, involving, we hope, real people. So we have the juxtaposition of the bigger-than-life problem, as I say, and the very simple home life and family life that these characters have, and it makes it, we think, interesting to a reader. I guess even though comics are thought of mainly as a children's medium, I guess I get the biggest kick of knowing that not only do the kids like the books, but in some way we seem able to reach older readers on another level, and the college kids are so much into these comics also. But somehow with the new type of comics, better written, more relevant, the readers are not leaving the comics or losing their interest as they reach the age of 14, let's say, the way they did years ago. But comics seem to have more of a staying power with people who are picking them up in the past decade or two.
It may be that the writing style is becoming more and more valuable and significant, and that you are using the words that are meaningful.
Well, I certainly hope so.
You
It's
could tell
funny.
he, yeah, go ahead.
It's funny how he, the 60s, he lost all his hair,
Yeah.
and then in the 70s, he had a full head of hair. I don't
That's
know
what
happened.
Shadowhawk was saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Out of all that, that's what you got, was you were looking at his hair. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, but that's
Oh dear.
I've always picked on him for that. I've noticed that years ago. But it's one of the stories. I forget who used to tell the story about him. They would never say that it was about Stan Lee. But said, yeah, we'd have this one guy come into work and he'd keep his hat on all the time. He'd always be wearing a hat. He never want to take the hat off. He'd go.
Right.
I mean, we knew why. He was bald, so cue ball. But young guy too, and he just lost all his hair, and it was like, yeah, we know who you're talking about. It's not a mystery. Yeah, that was Stan.
Yeah, well, I mean, Stan, he was ready to get out of comics when Marvel Comics took off. I think on advice from his wife, he's like, Stan, write this Spider-Man character the way you want him to be written. You got nothing to lose. You're going to leave anyway.
Actually, well, he attributes it to the Fantastic Four. He said that's what that's what he said. That he had the conversation with his wife.
That came off.
He said, just write it the way you want to. You're going to get fired anyways, or you're going to leave anyways.
Right. Yeah. And Fantastic Four came out first, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic Four #1 is one of only 2 comics that had a 10-cent price tag on it. In fact, it's the first Marvel comic, period. It was Atlas before that.
Yeah, okay. I put the link for that Jack Kirby interview in the private chat.
Private chat? Okay. Did you want me to show that?
Well, there's nothing. It's just all audio.
Oh, okay. Oh, from the Jack Kirby Museum. Very cool. Okay. I will access that after the show and listen to that then.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's exciting news that you what did you speak about on your first live stream? And did you get some chat people in there?
No one we only Finatra.
I think you only have about 6 subscribers, don't you? Or was
now
that
I
you?
have 20.
Now you have 20. There you
Because
go.
Finatra put all it out there, and
Awesome.
so
Yeah.
that's all I have to do is quadruple my account every time I go on there, and pretty soon I'll have 1,000.
You know, CG's great. When I first started, people subscribed. I think I got about 35 in my first day or two. I was thrilled, you know, that 35 people wanted to follow me, you know, and what I was doing, which was just showing collectibles. And now they're great collectibles, don't get me wrong, one of a kind items in a lot of ways. And then just showing a lot of my comic collection, which is quite extensive, about 30,000 books. But some of those are repeats, of course, multiple issues and things.
Oh, I could get like 100 episodes out of just my library.
Yeah, you could. And, you know, it's reaching that crowd, and the more videos you do, you know, you'll, and going on other people's streams helps as well. Definitely. Now here's a latecomer. He's still alive. Here is Roy Thomas talking about Conan. Of course, he was the writer of Conan and was instrumental in bringing Conan over to Marvel.
Yeah, they weren't even thinking
When I
about
got the
doing
right,
it.
Yeah,
it's for Marvel to do Conan. We didn't have the right to adapt any stories. We just had the rights to use the character. It was deemed to be too complicated to get the rights to also adapt actual stories. I wasn't going to be happy until I got to adapt all these wonderful stories that I had read that I really loved. So I very quickly worked out with the literary agent state, Glenn Lord, to be able to pay a little extra. We ended up being able to adapt all the great stories, starting with the very 4th issue, which was Tower of the Elephant, one of the very best stories. And and a little later, we were able to get the rights to the other writers, such as L. Sprague de Camp, who had written a lot of Conan stories. And eventually, we were able to adapt almost, by the time I left in 1980, we had adapted almost everything that anybody had ever written about Conan in prose up to that point. When I started doing Conan about 5 years after I was working there, I decided I wanted to do something a little different from the usual Marvel comic. I just wanted it to have its own identity. So I omitted the thought balloons, because in Howard's stories, you never really got inside Conan's mind. It never told you exactly what he was thinking. I decided I'd have captions that would give a little of that, but I would not have any thought balloons, and I would not have any nonverbal sound effect. If somebody screeches, you know, that's okay, or a growl, but no nonverbals. I'd been doing that for about a year. And then I had a story come in, and Stan looked at it and said, well, you know, this would be really good if it had a big splang right here where these two swords are hitting. And I told him, you know, I don't do nonverbal sound effects in the Conan comics. And he just stared at me in horror, you know, because that was part of his style. But he figured, well, by that time, the books were doing pretty well. So he said, well, I guess you're onto something. So he let it go. I think there was one click that got in that somebody else put in once. But in, you know, all the thousands of pages I wrote, there was never a real sound effect or a thought balloon in Conan. I thought that was kind of an interesting little experiment, very unusual for the time.
Interesting. Just a little slight change with that one comic, and I wonder if people caught on to that, or if they just got caught up in the storytelling. I think Roy Thomas then went to DC Comics, didn't he? He said he left in Marvel in 1980. He was instrumental in writing all those All-Star Squadron stories that I was very interested in. Of course, he has his own fan magazine from the mid-'60s, Alter Ego, which is still going today. I think he's a great comic book historian.
Well, does he his Alter Ego, it's now Tomorrow's Press, right?
Yes, they publish.
So
that.
does he still work with does he work with Tomorrow's?
I'm sure he does to some extent. Now it's probably taken on a life of its own as a magazine, but yeah, I haven't got a current issue of it. But man, they have had some artists do some great covers on those. I do have a few of those in my collection. I love every one of them. It's just one of those like back issues book or magazine or the Kirby collector. they're just a little bit too expensive for me to collect on a regular basis, you know, even in subscription form.
Yeah, they seem to have that. They're very informative, like Comics Journal, but
yeah,
Comics Journal seemed to. Well, you know, also that's the person who was writing Comics Journal seemed to not like the mainstream, didn't like the fun. He was just took this stuff a little too seriously, a little too.
Yeah, I mean,
literary.
I have very few. I think I have one. Well, speak of the devil, and he will appear. I haven't put this up. It does.
Well, Gary Groth, right? He's the.
Here's what you're talking about
yeah.
right here. Comics Journal with Miss Mystic, Neil Adams cover. Had some wonderful covers, you know, but I didn't pick this up. Greg Kill Kane, Savage character there on the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, $3 back in the day. This is number 72. I'm not sure what year. Magazine of News and Criticism. Neil Adams on Miss Mystic, Marvel, DC, the Independent Superheroes, the Comics Guide, his new film, Hamlet, and Global Economics in an exclusive interview. Wow. So, yeah, Neil Adams interview here. He was kind of a complex guy. Here's something on Asterix Revisited, which we never really got Asterix over here, the little Viking guy.
I mean, there was a.
Yeah, I mean, look at the words. I didn't like Comics Journal. I was glad that it was out there, but it was so much.
It seemed like an assignment.
Yeah,
like
so much to read. Yeah. So much to read. I mean, that would have page and page of in-depth interview. And that's okay, but you know.
Well, back when I used to actually do that that horrible word that really, it sounds like there's Satan involved. Oh, exercise. I used to do exercise, and I'd be on the treadmill or stair machine or something like that.
Stairmaster. Yeah,
I'd get my whatever issue of Tomorrow's Press, you know, if it was the back issue of the comic. What was it? What was the first magazine was just Comic Book Artist? Yeah, it was just Comic Book Artist magazine, and they were just, those articles were so much fun. There was a lot of reading too, which was good, especially when you really got into them. I went through a few years where I wasn't watching any TV, so I really delved into that magazine, or all those magazines. And yeah, I love that stuff, man.
I can't remember the one I really enjoyed. It's comics, something from the early 80s that dealt with animation, and then there was one that
Comic Scene.
Comic Scene. I would read everything, even if I wasn't interested in it. It would focus on like Don Bluth. Didn't know anything about him, but I would read everything in that magazine because I paid so much for it, you know, probably $1.50. But that was a lot of money, you know, for an extra thing that wasn't a comic, but it was on comics. But I learned so much out of Comic Scene. That was a magazine I used to like to pick up. Hey, Smoking Wraith.
Well, what's that smallest one? It was a comic book magazine size comic book magazine.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, and it ended in like 1982 or 83.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. That was very good, and it was done on a shoestring.
Yeah, and it's amazing that it ended when it did. When I started really collecting those, and I do have the very last issue. I don't know what happened with it.
Well, what was the last issue about?
I know one of maybe the next to last had a Wonder Woman cover.
Hey, Smoking.
And the last one was kind of an independent character on the cover.
See, they would cover, and that one we both know we're talking about, but can't remember the name.
I would have that to one look it up. I could look it up on eBay.
It would cover the small press. It would cover the independents, and it would cover the big time comics. It did it all. There wasn't, and that was what's good about it. There wasn't an other, you know, a thing like it. Well, this
was journal something, wasn't it, or comics?
No, it was a fun name. I know that it was like actually entertaining.
Comic Reader.
Is that it?
Comic Reader. Yeah, because I had that in my search. I just put in comic and a Comic Reader. Here's Comic Reader. All right, Comic Reader 215, December 1983. Early preview of Symbiote Suit. Spider-Man, $65.99. That was one of the last ones to come out. I know. Yeah, some of those early symbiote appearances, and there were quite a few of them. One of them was in Comics Journal, and that had a wartime cover and was focused on Robert Kanigher, and I wanted to know more about him. Well, it turns out it has one of those early black costume Spider-Man appearances, and now it's worth, $75, $80 or more,
Yeah.
So I lucked out on just buying that before it really went up in price for people.
Well, here's a question for you.
Here's the costume right here.
But isn't that the one that the kid sent in? Isn't that the illustration that one?
Yes, and I think he bought the rights to that for and he had some red in it too, I think. Originally, yeah.
Yep.
They did change that portion of it. I think Jim Shooter bought the rights to it for about $500, $200, something like that. I mean, it was a steal, And there's the cover to it right there with the Spider-Woman, which is kind of, fighting the Silver Samurai on the cover. And then on the back, you would also have a scene. This one was with the original Sandman. If you can see.
All right,
that.
it was not the best title, but it was the way they drew the title. I remember.
Well, it was more like fanzine, right?
Yeah, but it made me. But the way they drew that title, they put it on there. It read fun to me.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know that I ever saw those, to tell you the truth.
Well, I know I got a bunch of them out of the dollar bin at my local comic shop.
Where did you find those?
Yeah, just a dollar bin.
At a comic store?
Oh, yeah. I knew they existed. And I know when I was going to the Cubic School, some guys, they were passing some of them around. But I would get so nervous about holding someone else's anything.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't want to be that guy.
That damages, it drops.
Drinking a soda, and all of a sudden soda flies out of my hand, and I destroyed the cup. Not that it was even that big a deal, but it just, obsessive compulsive guy. I just can't get myself to do things like that. That thought just runs through my head. This is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's okay. I'm not going to have anybody else's magazines. I'm going to keep my own.
Okay, the one we just looked at was 219. Here it is. Comic Reader 219 was the very last issue from September 1984 with Evangeline cover. I don't know if you know the event.
Didn't the guys, that whole debacle. But didn't those guys, the guys who created the Comics Reader, didn't they become big time writers or something for comics?
I don't know. I don't know that much more. I've tried to collect these. I know that it was in its long history. Issue 100 had a color cover. And that one's kind of going up in price because on the back it has Captain America and Batman together, and they say that's the first DC Marvel kind of crossover. But that, even after that 100th issue, they were black and white. It was only till late 70s, 80s that they started even having color covers on a regular basis.
If I could get my all my cameras working, I'd start showing you some of my oversized comics. Some of those are goddamn fun.
Okay, this is the back cover. Have I been showing this all the time? Okay, so there's the back cover right there with Martian Manhunter on that final issue. And I thought I had brought up the cover. There's the cover. So that's what the cover looks like.
Right. Okay, it's not the character I was thinking about.
Yeah, I have an issue of this. I've tried to, I thought low distribution.
That's a different
final issue.
I was thinking,
difficult to find. So yeah, I have one of these somewhere. I had the one where they had the April Fools Stan Lee that he passed away in like 1981, 82 cover.
Huh.
I always knew that one was going to be valuable when and if he passes away, which was just a few years ago. Hey, Hockey.
No.
Hey, Mr. Good Stuff.
Hockey.
Hey,
I have a
Hockey,
question for
Mr.
you.
Good stuff.
Hockey, how long are your quick draw streams? How long a period of time do they run?
I think about an hour.
I'm gonna let him.
Yeah, he can answer you. 3 weeks.
No. Okay.
I'm joking.
He hasn't answered yet. Just over an hour. Okay, just over an hour.
Takes a
and
while.
it's just one illustration we're working on for that hour, right?
No.
Yeah, give me the lowdown. What exactly? Because I will train for this.
Shadowhawk, aren't we on with Belmont later tonight?
Yeah, 8 o'clock, I believe. It might be 7, though. I'm gonna double check.
Okay.
Is Justin Central or is he Eastern?
Good Stuff can probably answer that.
Okay.
Probably Eastern. Don't miss the debut of Mystical's trailer tonight on Belmont's Press Birthday Bash.
Nope,
Show
8 p.m.
at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. EST.
Eastern.
So that's 9 o'clock my time. Okay. Yeah, so
Okay,
we got
9
plenty
o'clock.
of time now.
Okay. All right. 9 o'clock. All right.
Just okay. 3
just send
drawings,
us the
20
links.
minutes.
You guys are on the show tonight? Question mark. I think we were invited. I mean, he can send us the link. If
Justin invited me earlier, I haven't got the link yet.
we won't be butthurt if he doesn't. You know,
it's all good.
It's all good. 3 drawings, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and then 10 minutes.
Wow.
If a tie, a fourth. If you have a tie, it's a fourth drawing in 5 minutes.
Okay, can we do these digitally? Because that way it'd be easy for me to broadcast.
He works digitally.
Okay, so no, that I just assumed then okay, great.
You make sure he sends us those links, Mr. Good Stuff. Don't let him do this stuff. Bert hurt.
All right, Hockey, I will train for this, and
I will train.
I will. I have to
knock off the rust. Yeah,
I am so slow. You
can go start beating up a side of beef, drinking some raw egg.
This is me. This is the guy who's going to have to like do half of a lap around the track with the cane. Who's going to eventually start sprinting around there.
So no running up the stairs in Philadelphia, huh? All right. Well,
yeah, that's the whole thing. I will get there. I will get there. I'm as slow as they go. I'm painfully slow because what I lack is what you need for speed is you need to be confident. None of that. I mean, I hear that's a good thing to have. I wish I had it one day, but I need to be confident and to be able to really focus your mind's eye. You know, say this is my vision and this is what I'm going to achieve, and that's very important.
I'm a little bit slower on my end as well.
I wish there was like the dummy class, like these people can barely hold a pencil. You know,
yeah. Hockey says
I got the circle done first.
I draw digital. I am slow too. Get the Jazza Arty Games app on your phone. It's what I use for the show. Jazza Arty Games app. Jazzy Arty Games app.
Wow.
Oh, Dirty Fatty, when did you change your name? I know you're slow. I know you're slow.
Someone changed it for me.
Oh.
Apparently someone got into my account and changed it for me. That's interesting.
I guess I'll change it back. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did that?
I did that. Yeah.
I didn't even know you could. I had no idea you could do that.
Well, now you know.
I'm gonna look it up. Jazz
Artie. Okay, cool.
Oh, dirty sloth.
Old dirty slowpoke.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna leave that on my phone, and I'll check it.
And we
later.
know this is all just self-deprecation. Old dirty funny fat.
I don't know. I have receipts. I have film footage of old dirty fatty at Christmas time. I'm going to show it here just a moment.
Okay.
Bring it up. He's having his Christmas meal here. Bring it up. There we go.
Oh, geez, it took me a second to figure out what that was. Wow.
It's a sloth upside down. It looks like he's eating lettuce.
He's having fun though.
Just so slow.
Get his head right in the plate. Look at
Yeah, that's after the 4th course meal, Christmas. It's like, oh,
he's had a couple of glasses of wine.
He's at somebody's house. That's a pet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Why would you have a sloth as a pet?
Because sloths are cool. They're just, it's like if they disobey.
I guess if you keep them inside, they wouldn't get all filthy. But out in the wild, they're horrible.
Get your hands off me, you filthy animal!
Yeah,
they're like swamp things. They move so slow. They have like mold and mushrooms and shit growing on them.
Yeah,
that's probably true.
Look how he's green. Because that's actual mold.
I've told this once before. This was years and years ago, back in the mid-90s, Shadowhawk. I was high. I was very high on some ganja. And I turned on The Wonderful World of Walt Disney. And there's this sloth, so slow, moving so slow. And the poor thing falls into the water. Uh-oh, here comes the alligator.
Yeah.
And the sloth is like, oh, will he make it? He's swimming so slow to get back up in the tree so he doesn't get eaten. I laughed my ass off. He did survive. He did get up in the tree and avoid the gator, but it was so.
He got eaten
at that moment, that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I don't know if I would have found it so funny if I hadn't just been really high, but
Oh, I get to tell my
sure.
I get to tell my Steve Ditko story. I have a Steve Ditko story. It's like everybody else's Steve Ditko story. It's not special.
All right.
I was in Manhattan and for some other things I was doing, but I had my portfolio with me, and I was trying to get work, and someone said, just call Steve Ditko up, just see what he's doing. Just give him a call. You never know. You can stop by and swing by and I don't know if they're playing a joke on me or what. So I call them because they actually had a stack of Manhattan phone books. This is the very end of phone book time. And they used to just deliver them to the buildings. They would just deliver an entire 30 or 40 phone books all at once. And they were just standing out there. No one grabbed them. And I looked it up, and I looked up Ditko Steve. I think that I can't remember what the middle name was, the middle initial was. And I just went, okay, I'll just give it a try. I called them myself. And
but he wasn't the only one in the book, right?
No, he was the only Steve Ditko.
Really, in New York?
Yep.
Wow.
I think Steve's a common name. You think there had to be some type of Ditko, but he was the only one. And he's like, hello. I was like, yeah. Can I talk to Steve Ditko? He's like, yeah. Yeah, I'll see if he's. Yeah, it's me. And basically, I was like, hey, can I stop by? I really appreciate it. Just did the whole fanboy thing. He's like, I'm really busy. I don't have time.
That's what he told everybody.
Everybody tells same thing. So I'm not special. And but yeah, that's my Steve Ditko. He's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He just he didn't quite sound like that voice when you hear him like that. There was a little hint of it towards the end of the conversation where it kind of slipped into the the New York accent.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he was a good guy. Good guy.
That's
I
great.
appreciate him.
You got to talk to Steve Ditko. Wow.
I also pestered Raymond Everett Raymond. What the hell's the last name? But he's a famous portrait artist. He had a bunch of them hanging in the portrait gallery, and he did comic books, and did the celebrities and state officials and everything like that. And he had a glorious studio about Fifth Avenue. And I pestered him. I was like, "Hey, can I stop by? I got my portfolio and all that." He's like, "Guy, I'm busy. I don't have time to look." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, he's right. Really, I'm just pestering these people for no good reason." But that was, that's what you have to try that. You got to give it a try. What if the
Yeah.
one time they're going to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'm bored. Come by."
Well, Neil Graham, he went, or Neil Gaiman, anyway, the author of Sandman, what's his name? He was there at the bottom of the building. This was not too long before he actually passed away.
Neil Gaiman?
No,
Ditko.
And I think when Ditko passed away, it was like a couple weeks before they found his body or something. He was kind of a hermit. The only one that really would have had contact with him, I think he had a secretary.
Well, he had that one guy that was his assistant. I remember they had
Okay.
interview with him. I think it was one of the Tomorrow's press magazines, but he had an assistant, and he was actually a much more sociable guy than people give him credit for. He didn't talk about it.
Right.
He would never talk about it. He would go hang out with his family. His brother and his brother's kids. That was like his real family to him, because he never got married and he never. Well, hold on. I don't know if that's true. I know he never had kids. I don't remember him staying married. He might have gotten married at one point, but yeah, he was like their favorite uncle ever. He said he was nothing like, and there's some video footage of when they're older and Ditko's standing around in the kitchen, leaning against the doorway, and they're just talking about politics and stuff like that. And he's just a regular guy, regular blue collar guy, and you're like, that's not Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko's supposed to be this Ayn Rand maniac who won't draw Spider-Man anymore. He was he's a pretty good guy. I wish I would have met him. I wish there was some way I could have met him.
Well, in a way, you did.
Yeah. Well.
Come on, man. You got to talk to him. Maybe not about what you wanted to, but you got to hear his voice. And
yeah. I tell you what, that was very disappointing. Was I got a hold of some of his. This was a couple of years before he died. Got a hold of some of his issues of the things he did. Different
like Mr. A and some of the others,
all these black and white, almost done like on a photocopier kind of things, and I was very disappointed because Ditko, you look at some of his stuff, he gets pinned with that, he's very stiff and it just doesn't look very good.
Right.
But you look at some of that stuff, he could draw a figure, he could get movement, he could really have flow, he understood his anatomy.
He did.
But it seems like he completely regressed. Stuff became stick figures.
Yeah.
Lifeless. All the expressions were these extreme, bizarre, cartoony expressions.
Right.
It's like, man, he's a master. This man is a master, but he regressed. He didn't keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, early 80s, his stuff didn't impress me. I bought it because it was a Fantastic Four annual or something. And that's what I was exposed to. But as far as the art, no, it didn't draw me. It's just, I wanted to collect Fantastic Four, and he just happened to be the artist. Now, his early stuff, in the early 50s and things like that, the
horror comics that he did
with Ditko, great stuff. I still say he's the
inventive as hell. I mean,
Oh,
he just always was trying a new technique. He was always trying something different. It's
young
great.
Stan Lee there. Very young Stan Lee.
Hey, is his brother still alive?
Lieberman, I believe he is. Larry Lieberman.
Yeah.
I believe he is. Yeah.
I wonder what the age difference was. How can, because I mean,
A
Stan
couple
was,
years, maybe he's in his 90s as well.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my Stan Lee story. My Stan Lee story is not as good. I'm at
Neil Gaiman. Yeah, I'll get back to that in a minute. If let me just finish this while we're on Ditko. Oh, Dirty Fatty. That you can tell us your Stan Lee story. Yeah, there's a thing out there where they were going to like, let's go see Ditko. So they went to go see Ditko. And they saw him. He was gracious, gave him about 10 minutes. Of course, they wanted his signature. He wouldn't give it.
Was that the British documentary?
And he gave
thing?
them some of his recent comics. He was a very generous guy. And when they called him before they went up, and he said, "No, I'm too busy. I can't meet with you." They went up anyway. Was really imposing on his time.
Yeah. And
he still gave them 10 minutes. Wouldn't give him an autograph, of course, which would be worth a fortune because he never signed anything, hardly, if ever.
But
and then
gave
him some comics and sent them on their way.
But that was that British documentary with that one British talk show host, right? That's the one you're talking about. Neil Gaiman went there with him, but it was God, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, that was. I was surprised the amount of love that people really showed, because if it's think something out of sight, out of mind, and you just think that the rest of the world is just as stupid, but you find out there's hundreds and thousands of people who love the same thing you do.
Yeah,
and they're just not vocal. Like I'm vamping because I can't remember that talk show host's name. He's a famous British talk show host. And he was a complete total Ditko fan. He totally fanboyed out.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. It was a documentary on Ditko.
Yeah.
They talked about his Question and Creeper and Captain Atom and all the characters that he created. I still say he's my favorite as far as
Captain Atom actually was very inventive, and I think it has the it's marked as history's first what is it, interstellar superhero or something like that. It got some, I don't know, something like that. But I mean, Ditko was actually pretty viable into the 90s.
Stan Lee with Grumpy Cat, because Marvel did do a Grumpy Cat, I think. Comic book. Wow.
That Ditko helped get Valiant on its feet.
Here's some for you to choose from, old Dirty Fatty. Names.
No, those guys are too. This guy's a comedy guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But
I've seen it.
The guy's name.
Yeah, I can't remember who was with him. I just remember Gaiman, Yeah.
But what do you call Jim Shooter? He contacted Ditko, and he said, "Hey, you want to help us get this company going?" And he did it. He actually did some issues. He was cranking them out, and I'm pretty sure I had a couple of his issues. I think it was it was Captain Atom. Yeah. That's a damn good character.
Well, he did a lot of work for Charlton, probably more work for Charlton than he did Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they would leave him the hell alone. He was one of those guys that would have gladly worked for less money if you just leave him alone, let him be a full creator.
Right. But, Stan Lee wanted to take him in a different direction, apparently. Here you go, some Filmation. Hopefully we don't get struck on that. Filmations, I don't know who owns the rights, but remember this?
Alert, another reality change approaching. Something is affecting the basic laws of nature, changing reality as we know it. My mind is not enough. Help me wish the machine to start.
Yeah, that's kind of how my mind does in the mornings.
All reality has changed.
Hey,
Yeah.
trusty sidekick. It's Gordon something, right? No, it's not. It's
No.
I know who you're talking about. It's not Gordon.
All
Gordon's
right,
an older guy.
I'm
yeah.
just going to do a
He's
search
got that.
of British
Okay.
talk show hosts.
Graham Norton.
No,
That's
it's not Graham
him.
Norton. Graham Norton
It wasn't
is
Graham
one of
Norton,
them.
no. But I know who Graham Norton is. He misses good stuff. And I don't know, except for the title, if and KSS was in here earlier today. We wish him a happy birthday. Today is his birthday.
Yeah.
I think he said he was 45. I think that's right. He's a youngin.
Jonathan Ross. Jonathan Ross.
Okay. Jonathan Ross.
That's who it was. Yeah. And he has a lisp. He always talks, or no, he has like an Elmer Fudd type of.
Well, I thought that was kind of imposing of them too. If they really wanted to meet Ditko, they probably should have waited outside the building and ambushed him when he was coming out of the building.
You ambush him like a normal
and then
person.
tried to get a minute or two to talk to him.
Yeah.
You can just say hi or bye, nothing to us. We just wanted to see you and just tell you we appreciate all your hard work and what you've done. You've helped form and change our lives. Thank you for what you've done in comics. That's all you would have to say. You don't have to impose on the guys, bust in his office like they did, but they got to see him. I hope they, and I believe it was, not too long ago after that he passed away. So good on them. It worked for them. They got to see it.
Yeah. That was a good documentary because it just really went through the whole history of him. It really.
Oh, it was. Yeah. It really gave you an appreciation for what he had done in The Question and
now
just the Iron Rand connection.
But the Creeper always gets a bad bum rap.
Beware the Creeper. Yeah.
The Creeper. And it's like, that was a fun character, man. It was a crazy design.
Well, I mean, the design, was like no other character that was out there.
Yeah.
Hey, trusty sidekick, Jack Stafford. Mrs. Good Stuff. Good stuff. Sorry, I've been cooking.
I think because it's a Ditko, they don't know maybe how to write him.
I don't know. That's probably it. He probably understood the essence of the character, because I know his alter ego was a newspaper guy.
You could write a good Creeper story, and I think there have been some good Creeper stories out there.
Yeah, because essentially he's kind of a detective, but he kind of brings people to justice by just exposing them, because his alter ego's a ace reporter for the local paper, or was it for the TV news? I don't know, it was a reporter of some sort. And he just exposed their hypocrisy. Yeah, it's good character.
Hey, Jack Stafford. He says Shadowhawk. Oi, oi.
Oi, Jack.
All right, we should have a vote.
Dinner for the girls. So
we should have a vote for all CG that we're going to have only one greeting. There can only be one greeting. It has to be hail or shigama or ahoy.
Yeah. We could have as many as we want.
Why you want to censor things?
I want to gatekeep something.
Diversity, OD.
Okay.
I can't get myself.
Clip that for me. He wants to gatekeep. Wow.
I could never get myself to keep someone else from getting work. I don't care how crappy they are. If they can get the work, man. Hey, Liefeld,
I don't believe you now.
It's not my favorite, but that guy could get the job done. So
I already ruined it for me. Such a hater. Why you want to be a hater? I didn't know you were like this, old dirty fatty.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't know myself. So just
how's your mother doing?
She's still plugging away. She's not feeling that great. But
is that it? I mean, you need a wind up? like one of those wind-up toys with her? I mean, she not getting around good? I mean,
Yeah, I just
yeah,
she wants to get up and do things. Her body just isn't agreeing with her.
yeah.
If it wasn't for the cancer stuff, she'd probably be doing like way better. It's the
Yeah.
medication that does it to her. That's what does it to her. So
The medication is a drag. Yeah, definitely.
She just wants them to like just grab the thing and just pull it out of her. And
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just get one surgery and get it over with?
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we can't. It's not operable. We're gonna just keep you on this until the end of time. It's like, okay, as long as you guys are ready for me not to pay my bills. At a certain point, she's got good insurance, but she can't come up with all that money.
No, man, that shit's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I know. The woman that I almost married, she was like, spent at least $1 million
Wow.
on her cancer, or the insurance people did. If she hadn't had good insurance, there'd be no way she could afford that.
Yeah. It's prohibitive. I mean, it just is. And they have her on a bunch of different programs, not just what she's paying for the Medicare or the Medicaid, whatever it is, the one she's the one you get with the SSI. But she has that. She has a supplemental, and then the hospital and the different groups, they all can have her connected up with these other different organizations. So she's getting like more than 90% of it paid.
Right.
But that still, those bills come in. You're like, I'm never going to be able to pay this. This is just way too much.
And sometimes, you can talk to the hospital. They will even defer or throw out some of that.
Oh, they're doing everything.
If they know that you cannot afford it. I mean, I had a bill and I made a few small payments, but they realized, I'm working at a homeless shelter. I'm not going to be able to pay this. I'm not, and they just forgave it.
Well, that's why
and most of it was just a few block drive, which is amazing. About 10 blocks, maybe. That's being generous. I didn't know ambulance was that expensive.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Just an ambulance ride. I had no idea. Oh, man, I used to have these centipedes, house centipedes. Here's a house centipede molting its exoskeleton. I never saw that. But I had these little buggers running around the place, and it freaked me out every time I saw them. But actually, they're good. They kill roaches and any other thing. I wish I could go to that old building and transport some of those over to my house here. Because actually, if they're around, they're great for killing it. That's a good sign if they were in that old building. But yeah, they're freaky looking. Look at that. Lots of legs. Looks like something out of Alien.
Wow. That is, yeah, oh my God.
Yeah. Look at those legs and stuff.
That's not real, is it? That's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Oh,
I used to have these in my apartment. Yeah, they'd run across the carpet going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And at first I was like, what the hell is that? And I'd try and kill them. And I guess while I was there all the time, I would try and kill them. But yeah, actually, I learned later that that's actually a good thing that they're in your apartment or house or whatever.
So you should have a cat.
They will eat cockroaches and mites and fleas or just about anything. Actually,
can't we just train the rats to eat all the cockroaches?
Well, there's
I'd rather have the bugs than the rat in my house.
But the rats are never going to get the rats.
I wouldn't. I could actually put up with it.
By the way, there is footage of that. I was watching this.
If I can get some,
documentary where the
some of
rats are eating the
those, if I saw
cockroaches.
some of those at a pet shop, I'd say give me about a half a dozen of them, and I'd put them in my house. I wouldn't mind if they ran around. I mean, it catches you by surprise when you see something with multi legs like that running across your carpet, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
But if you were used to it and you knew they were in the house and that it was a good thing, it'd be like anything else. You get used to it.
Man, you just be like, "Hey, what's up, Speedy?"
That is a great idea for a my comic. That's what things I'm going to have.
Scotty Richard Studio did a CG Happy New Year. Here's Mandy transforming into CG armor with colors. And he says more on the way. It's just a gift, so I can't blow it up. But he has Mandy Summers, and then I guess Dale Keown reacting there at the end. Ta-da. Yeah.
Oh, she goes into the she goes into her Dazzler.
Oh, into the god dang it. Battery's shutting down again. I'll be back.
Okay. Hey, Crooked Painter. Happy birthday. A ride with no hookers. So expensive. Don't tase me, bro.
But I ran and I drove cabs. I ran a cab company for a few years, and I drove a cab company for other years. Now we would have people who would, because of the cost, they would just have us do it. We're driving them in a big hurry. In fact, I had this one time. One of the guys who worked he was a nurse, and not just like an ER nurse. He was a special type of nurse. And very well trained, very, very competent guy, good customer. I got him in the back, and I was supposed to take him to one hospital that was about 25-minute drive away, and we had a hospital here in town. This is in New Jersey. The hospital was just up the street, like about 7-8 blocks away. But we take him to the next one, the bigger, more competent hospital. He gets in the car and he sits down. And he goes, "Take me to the hospital." I'm like, "Yeah, I know what you do. I mean, no, I got to go to the hospital, right?" And he just was out. And this was like, I pull over and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He was out, like not moving out. So I just drove him up to the next closest hospital, which luckily was like maybe 5-minute drive. And I was blowing through lights. Didn't matter. It was in the middle of the night, and we got him. Everything was great. My dispatcher called him up, and by the time we were there, they had the crash, cart there. They had everything ready. So, and they got him out of the car, and wow, there was, when a hospital wants to be, and you allow them to be, you give them the information they need, they can, they can save somebody. Yeah, and he would just, his heart just gave out. He had a condition that he never told any of us who were driving him. Apparently, if it could just, he's been taking medication for all those years as a nurse. His heart just gave out, and he was back to work in about 6 months. But that was a weird one. That was
well, that worked out good.
Yeah.
Check this fish out. My gosh, how big that fish is. Is that a tuna? Looks like a tuna.
Is that real?
Huh?
Is that real? That is.
I know real. They can grow unlimited if they have a food source.
Wow. Is that real? Well, I guess it could be real.
I don't know.
I know those they get those tuna charter boats where they'll just take like 20 strangers out there, and they'll go fishing with tuna, and they'll even supply them with the bait and take them to the right place and all that stuff. And
I wonder how much he had to wrestle with that thing, if it's real.
Yeah, it has to have been.
I don't think that's real.
Yeah, it had to have been a crane if he was
I
grabbing
don't,
it.
you know, the person's reaction and what he's doing there is fine, but I think if you look at the fish, it just looks too fake.
Yeah, it looks like a bass or something.
You know, it just looks, yeah, it looks fake to me.
But these basically these people go out and catch tuna. You know, they're paying money, good money. They're out there for the whole day, and then they take them in, and if anyone catches anything, they clean them up and get everything ready. And you guys have tuna forever, you know, fresh caught tuna. But what happens is what happened was they had all these Japanese people meeting them on the docks, and they would just buy their tuna from them right then and there. And sometimes these guys would make thousands of dollars for going out for, you know, some Joe Blow happened to catch a tuna, and they pay him thousands of dollars for a tuna. That seems crazy.
Yeah, that seems crazy.
But I guess maybe there's a certain amount of limit of what you can catch. And so, you know, if the individual, some other person can get it. Like one of the guys actually did that. They caught a tuna and he sold it, and he had you know, some money in his pocket. That's pretty good. That's a nice one-day vacation. You go fishing, you have fun, you get drunk, and then you make a few $1,000s. That's a good gig. That's no tuna. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Probably a carp. It looked like a bass of some sort.
Well, I mean, but when you see the tail, it looked like a tuna. I know that's a fake. It's got to be a fake. I know that tuna can get big, but not that big. I don't know what he was trying to haul in. Originally, it may have been a great white shark or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, a large shark, and then they just superimposed that over the actual thing he caught. But yeah, that was fake. Had to be. It looked too fake. When you look at the fish.
Yeah.
When you look at the fish.
The scale of the fish didn't look right.
Well, maybe. It just, when you look at it swinging around in the fins, the side fins and other stuff, and probably no water dripping off of it and whatnot, you know, a little too clean. There's a million things. I think if you look at it, prototype of Ford never produced 1955 Lincoln Futura was transformed into the Batmobile for ABC's 1966 Batman. Yeah, so it was prototype right there. Yeah,
the old bubble top
turbines to speed. Well, I don't think it had a bubble top, but it had the windshields.
Yeah,
you know, the
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Because it was a really, well, you could be right from looking at this up close. It does look like it's maybe enclosed there on that prototype. So maybe it's not a convertible after all.
I better know my cars. I'm in the Detroit area. If
Oh,
you don't know your cars, I think they hunt you down and beat you.
That was a prototype though, never released in 55. So who's still around that can beat you up over that?
Hey, you've done a lot of, or have you gone to a lot of comic book conventions?
Back in the day, I went to a few. I wouldn't say a lot.
What was the best one? Like overall, the best setup? They treated the people right. They had them.
Just Steve Ditko cover for Hulk when he came back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Huh.
I don't know that he ever drew Spider-Man for them. If he had, then, you know, I'd be interested in that because it would be like the last time Ditko drew Spider-Man. He probably refused to draw anything Spider-Man for them. I know he did Fantastic Four. I knew he did Hulk. And a few other things during that time. While still working for Charlton, I think.
Yeah.
And himself. Yeah. It's amazing that he came back to Marvel at all, really. even
Well, you
in
would
the
have thought that
early
he
80s.
would have got some commercial work and just done that the rest of his days.
Yeah.
Although I'm
Yeah.
told,
You
at
mean
least,
outside of comics?
yeah, I was told that,
Yeah.
well, I mean, a reasonable person would have done that, but he loved comics. He really
He
did.
loved comics.
Yeah.
That's why he stuck with it. Yeah.
But John
Well,
Buscema,
name an American art form: jazz, comics,
yeah, pretty much it.
maybe 3 or 4 other things, and that's it. It's a unique American art form, and you know, you either love it or you don't. And he really loved it. I still say he was the best inker on Fantastic Four over Kirby stuff on Fantastic Four 13, and the cover to 14. And that's all he.
Hold it. Let me look that up.
That's probably one of the last times he really did ink Kirby. That's the first appearance of the Watcher, first appearance of the Red Ghost and his Super Apes. Somewhere around here, I have a graded copy of it.
Well, I have this, the Essentials.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if I can look it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's all printed in newsprint.
I have most of the Essentials and most of the showcase from DC and Marvel. You can spend thousands of dollars. A lot of those are out of print too. So, you know, some of those trade paperbacks and reprints are worth some money.
All right, 13 doesn't give me a
I
page.
paid $50 for an Iron Fist on one, which was crazy.
Dick Ayers. I had to do some art corrections when I was interning at Marvel of some Dick Ayers stuff, and he's an interesting character.
Yeah,
he was during his height, his heyday. Dick Ayers was one of the best, but something happened, man. He lost that. I don't know. He just lost it. It wasn't good. But this is 12.
Dick Ayers. He number 13 and the cover to 14.
Okay, what is this? This is 13 right here.
Yeah,
right,
Jack Kirby with Steve Ditko.
Mystery on the Moon.
Yes. When the Fantastic Four went back to the moon, to the blue area of the moon, first appearance of the Watcher, first appearance of, Russia was trying to beat them to the moon. They reprinted that. Probably the first time I saw that story was in one of those Marvel treasure editions, huge treasure editions.
Man, there's this panel progression on the bottom of this one page.
The first comic was French, yeah.
And it's
Batmobile
powerful.
was so heavy from all the crap they used in it that 35 was all it could go. Yeah. If the first comic was done by a Frenchman, then it's probably nudity. That's what the new Tesla should look like. Let's get this future going. Yeah. Top speed, downhill. Yeah, 35. My brother and I were fishing on the dam. Passmaster Dan says when an Asian guy comes up with a net and scoops up a bunch of shad that he used for bait, he puts them in a cooler and off he went. Yeah. You can tell he did that before. Probably crappie. Is that what you meant? Really? I'd still say it's fake. If you look at his tail, it looks like a tuna. Little tuna has those barbs on the end of its tail. And I think they have unlimited growth, but as long as they have a food source. But you can get some huge tunas, but not that big. I would be skeptical of that. I would want to be there and see it. But we could settle for something like that. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, this is pretty good. It's a pretty good inking. It's very inventive, I tell you that much.
Well, the Ditko comes through over the Kirby.
Yeah.
Look at issue 5, first appearance of Dr. Doom. That is Joe Staton inks. That is the only time that Joe Staton inked the Fantastic Four early on. It would be years later, till the early 40s, Fantastic Four in the 40s, when the New Humans were coming in, that Joe Staton became the regular inker for so many years and decades on Fantastic Four. You know, those early issues there and in Avengers suffered from a multitude of different inkers at different levels. I was not impressed with some of the early inkers on both of those books.
Well, they don't have the list, the credits. Just says
Credits.
Stan Lee.
Yeah,
Jack,
that's the
Jack
bad
Kirby.
thing about it. Yeah, but trust me, that is
yeah, you can really see a different look. It's
yeah,
like, cause his Reed Richards and Sue Storm are
and that's
different.
early Joe Staton. That's a great time travel story. And that's when the Thing becomes Blackbeard the pirate. Fun story. I think that one was also reprinted.
Yeah.
I think that was reprinted in the giant Treasury editions. Just fun stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now here's Michelle Nichols and Scotty Doohan there at in the captain's chair. See how he obscures his right hand? He landed on D-Day. He was against the Nazis, and for his trouble, he got shot 6 times and got 2 of his fingers shot off. Lost 2 of his fingers. I'm trying to bring you up here, Shadowhawk. There we go.
Hey,
Took me
what's
about
happening,
3
guys?
tries of clicking on there.
Sorry about that. I was making dinner for the girls, not paying attention, and my phone was like, "Oh, shutting down." I'm like, crap.
And what is for dinner, my friend?
It's Wednesday. It's the Princess Spaghetti Day, and we get
Spaghetti. I was going to say, okay, Wednesday. As
chop.
soon as you said that, spaghetti. Yeah.
I'm gonna get going. I gotta eat dinner.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Take care.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one, Old
coming
Dirty.
in.
See you.
Late.
Here's Christopher Lloyd with Stan Lee a few years back. Oh, that's pretty
cool.
neat.
Well,
conventions have grown so hugely, you know, since I met Stan Lee. I met Stan Lee in 1986, and it's just, they have just grown and grown and grown since then to where they're, I mean, I, you know, would love to meet Stan Lee and talk to him again, and just, but the way they were funneling him through, you know, at the end of his life and everything, it was really elderly abuse, I thought, there toward, I was actually fairly grateful. Actually, there's a small drawing I did on the death of his birthday, on the when he passed away. The day he died. Bog, and there's a tear going down his face.
cool.
With a caption that says, "You will be missed, Stan," or something like that. That was my commemoration of his death. He was born in 1922 and died in 2018, so would have been December 28th, 2018 when I drew that. Just to commemorate the passing of Stan the Man Lee. You know, I know there's some debate in between, argument between, you know, give him back his, it's almost like that scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where John Candy is in the back of the truck. It's extremely cold, right, with the dog, and their gloves are laying there, and he wants to get the gloves because his hands are freezing. Steve Martin's reaching for him, and he's like, you know, nips at him.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, you know, nip a little, you know, and he's like, give him the damn gloves, and he's like, rah. He's like, oh, and then John Candy's like, oh, and then it cuts to later scene, where they're freezing. They have icicles all over them. The dog's still in the snarl state, all frozen over. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Give me the damn gloves. Not a chance.
No, not giving them up.
No, not giving them up. No. You screw off. This is my territory. Those are my gloves. And even if they're not, I'm claiming them.
My paws are cold. So, hey, pass me for Dan. Cool. All right.
Mustang GT Zimmer. Wow. That's interesting. How about this one? Little snow scene too. I like that retro look. Is that something new? Is that a custom job?
I'm not sure.
It looks like they might have put a different, retro front on that.
It looks like it's got like an old school front end.
Yeah, but the back of it is all new looking.
Yeah, yeah. I can't tell exactly what it is. Almost looks like a newer Corvette rear end, but I'd have to see it from the back.
That looks kind of funky,
Yeah, it's weird looking.
Yeah. But I'd love to have one of those old Roadsters or Phantoms or,
I'll tell you what, I'd drive that one. It might be a little weird looking, but still.
Yeah. At least you would have power brakes and power steering, huh?
There you go.
I remember my Cutlass. You had to press on that brake.
Oh, yeah.
You had to turn that wheel, without that
Oh, you
power
had to crank
steering.
the wheel, man. Yeah.
Most people today have never experienced that, Shadow. They're like they're spoiled to that. Just barely touch it,
Yeah, unless their power steering pump goes out, and then they find out real quick.
One of my favorite movies, Strike Me Down, Will I Not Rise Again? Wasn't she a beauty? I think this was maybe right after she did Bonnie and Clyde, Faye Dunaway, with Steve McQueen in A Thomas Crown Affair.
No, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
What's that movie?
Yeah, it looks very dramatical.
Well, this is where they're getting to know each other.
Yeah. I wasn't a big drama guy, so I don't think I ever watched this movie. They remade this, right? The Thomas Crown Affair?
They did with the guy that played Remington Steele.
Okay, yeah.
This is going to play. What the hell? Try and key it up again.
Again, like I said, I'm not a big movie guy, like sci-fi horror.
Right. And I'm all for that. But I'm a big Steve McQueen guy too. Come on. It's not gonna make it past that.
Well, I love Bullet, and the Blob, the original Blob, is one of my favorite movies ever.
Right.
Love that.
Right. The Thomas Crown Affair is basically he's a millionaire and he robs a couple banks for kicks. He has other, meets up and sets up the bank robbery, and she's the insurance lady, and she kind of falls in love with him, but she knows he's guilty. He confides. He says, I could, pull this off again the same way I did before. And he does that. And probably could have got away with it, but kind of sets her up to see where her loyalties are as a test.
Double crosses it.
Yeah. And he doesn't go for the money. He just drops the money off like before. And he's on a plane and he's like, that's the end of it, where his kind of reaction of has a drink on a plane. It's like, well, it didn't work out for her, but it could have had she kind of, said that they were more important than, turning him in and her job. And, there's an ethical thing to that. It's like, are you going to do the right thing or not? I don't know that anybody came out a winner in that. It was an interesting movie.
Yeah, but it comes down to a question of, would you sacrifice everything for love?
Yeah. Well, would you sacrifice your moral integrity, or would you kind
Exactly.
of bend the rules? Would
That's
you?
what I said. I mean, 'cause
Huh?
that's more than just sacrificing, you know, like your job or your lifestyle or what have you. You know,
Right.
that you know, you like I said, you're sacrificing everything. Would you do that for love?
Well, there's the question, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't know what the
Wow, I
answer
never knew
is.
till this day, because I may not have this one. This X-Men, I actually have a the production artwork to this cover, and I
Oh,
never
really?
knew they did the white swipes on it.
Huh.
You know,
Okay.
mine is full Wolverine. You know,
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
without the
That's even
well, it
yeah.
may have the wording on there, but it's not like in like an oval like that where it's in white around it. So.
Right, so you can see the rest of his shoulder and his like.
Sexy chest flirting. Yeah, I taught myself chess back in the day, Jack. I always wanted to know how to play chess, so I read the instructions and taught myself, and actually pretty good at it. I've beaten some real masters at it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not that good. I can play, but I'm not claiming that I'm any good.
Marvel Entertainment put this 100 years of dreaming, 100 years of creating, 100 years of Stan Lee. Stan Lee, an original documentary, is streaming 2023 on Disney Plus. Wow.
Still milking
Okay.
that corpse.
Huh?
Said still milking that corpse. Way to go, Marvel.
Yeah, they're gonna milk it. Yeah, they're gonna milk it.
Nice. Way to go.
Here's a picture of Rob Liefeld with an elderly Stan Lee. When Stan summoned you, Rob Liefeld says, get there as fast as you are able. The legend was catching a flight to the great beyond, and there were stories yet to share. So yeah, there were certain ones that.
I guess Stan liked Rob.
Yeah, Rob and Rob and Todd and
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smith. There they are together. He's looking quite aged right there. I guess that was toward before he passed away. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the Stan Lee summoned you and said, "I'd like to see you." Yeah, man, you hop on a plane, and I mean,
That's
Rob,
not
he's a
bad.
millionaire. He can just, I'll rearrange my schedule.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't a problem for him.
No, and yeah, there was some really chicanery going on, some fuckery or whatever
But
you
I'll
want to
tell you what,
say.
if Stanley
Toward the
would
end of it.
have summoned me, I'd have found a way to get there. I've only ever spoken to him once, but
There you go. There's Faye Dunaway. That's a promotional steal with the car, and that was the first time that he had the little Dartmouth, like he went to college at Dartmouth, little.
yeah.
Chain.
I don't like that picture.
You don't like that picture?
No, she looks awkward.
It was the 60s, okay?
He still looks freaking awkward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, in that movie, she's ultra sexy.
I'm sure she is, but that picture is just
You don't
not
like
doing
sexy women. That's fine. That's fine.
Are you telling me you found that picture sexy? With that bad hat and her head sticking forward, her legs all weirded out.
Now,
No,
this is wild. This is Michelle Nichols in 1932.
Now that's a very nice picture.
Or was she born in 32? Surely this has to be her in the 60s or late 50s or something.
It's got to be. And don't call me
32. No, that's when she was born. Which was a year after my father. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. My father would be about 91, just about, or going on 92 maybe. Yeah. See, they say December 28th. Oh, date of birth. Okay.
Oh.
Right. There we go.
Oh, she's
like that's her in 32.
Baby.
Wait, what? Huh?
She's a December 28th baby as well, huh?
The thing of it, yeah, her and Stan Lee shared birthday. The thing of it is, she's got more play and since she's passed away this year, and for her birthday being at the end of the year, she's got more play than when she was alive. Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, that always happens, though, right? Yeah. Or more often than not.
Yeah.
Hell, ain't nobody gonna remember me when I'm gone.
They'll love him or hate him. All people were controversial to a certain degree. There's always going to be a few that are going to disagree with the way you've done things or lived your life, or do the best you can. Be fair to everyone. Here's a picture of Stan Lee when he was in the military in World War II. Lee rose through the ranks of a family-run business called Timely Publications, which would later become Marvel Comics. Yeah, writer, editor, publisher, and producer. Yeah. Again, receding male baldness, right? Mom was born in 33. Past Master Dan says Stan was a Hillary voter. Probably. I mean, he was a New Yorker and probably a Democrat. But again, a blue dog Democrat. He wouldn't go for this radical hatred.
No.
He's done documentaries on racism and stories and stuff. He would not go for it. He's Jewish himself. Lieberman, is the family name. Huh? Or
he
Lieber.
wouldn't have put up with this bullshit.
No. He would have gave him the finger.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I guarantee you, if Stan was, more together towards the end, things at Marvel would have been different too.
Yeah. Yeah. If his mind had been about him. I think his mind was starting to go at the end.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, and there was some elder abuse going on, and I was really grateful to hear that he passed away by that time. Not that I wanted to see him gone, but
no, but I kind of felt the same way with Nichelle Nichols, because from what I heard, her family had been just dragging her around from convention to convention for the last 5 years.
Oh, really? I could probably see that.
Apparently, she didn't even know where she was at the time.
Really? See, that's that's not good. That's not good.
I mean, who knows how much is true, how much isn't, but
right. I do remember some footage of her.
I did see some footage of her at some recent, like San Diego Comic-Con or something right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And she did not look good.
She couldn't walk hardly,
Yeah,
had to kind of have, yeah. Yeah, that's milking it for what it's all worth. I mean, it's like, what? If you hadn't made your money by then, don't try and make a few bucks off over like the last 5 years of her life.
The worst part about it was apparently it was their kids that were doing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the worst part about it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's just nuts. But
I promise not to do that to you when you become famous and wealthy and and senile.
My kids are gonna prop me up on a stick.
I won't allow them to do that. I'll fight it for you. It was really starting to piss me off what they were doing with Stan Lee.
Oh yeah,
I know Kevin Smith said, "Why don't you come live with me?" His own daughter, he was his own daughter was pissed at him because his parents were going to put her on like a stipend, not give her all the wealth, at least all at once. And she was pissed off about that because she would burn through, she's one of those elitists apparently that just burns through the money, spends it and whatnot. And her parents didn't trust her with it. And, they worked hard to get where they, to obtain that. So I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, if
Because
you
he
want,
didn't have for decades. I mean, you don't go into comics to get wealthy. He happened to get wealthy from it,
certainly not when he went into comics.
Yeah, right.
There was nobody getting wealthy back then.
Well, I mean, how many are even in crowdfunding really getting wealthy?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I sold a comic for 100,000.
very small
Okay,
percentage.
what's 100,000? How long is that going to last you? If that's
Right.
all you
By
had?
the time you take out production costs and then Indiegogo fees and everything
Right.
else,
Right.
I mean, you might bring home half of that if you're lucky. And okay, so you got to do that a couple, 3 times a year if you want to be making $150,000 a year. So it's no magic formula to get rich. There's certain people that make a lot of money, but most
Right.
people aren't gonna be living high on the hog off a comic. Not yet, anyway. But hopefully soon. Things are growing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ninja Turtles
I think indie comics is the place to be.
captured
The
lightning in a
mainstream
bottle.
is doing nothing.
But that was due to having a good manager that licensed stuff,
Well, you know what I'm looking at too, bro, is look at how desperate Hollywood is for material right now. They're already mining, you know, old older properties and independent comics and stuff like that. How long do you think it's gonna be before they finally approach somebody in CG and go, wow, this looks pretty interesting?
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna take that long.
And I hope they're going to be like, if they're smart, they're going to be like Ethan. He's not, or even,
Well, hopefully
Steve
they'll have
Rude. I mean,
integrity.
Steve Rude has his cartoon that, how dope that looked.
Oh yeah. But,
And he's got
you
90% of it done. He's got it 90% of all work to bring that to the screen already done.
Yeah.
Artwork, things that takes time and development.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got 90%. He's ready to go. And yet, I'm sure he's gotten approached by people, but they want to probably take
Yeah, well, he's
control
not
away.
willing to
Give them control, and I don't
what's
blame him.
happened with. Well, that's what's happened with the Spawn movie as well. I mean, that's for years why. I mean, Todd could have made a Spawn movie.
Exactly. Todd could have
a long
made,
time ago.
several movies by
could.
now. Hey,
Oh
Timothy.
yeah, he could have just gave up a 3-movie deal to somebody, and he'd have been sitting pretty. But he doesn't want his character out of his control. So I get that.
Yeah, I do too. You have to remain. I mean, and if they truly respect your work and will put put the money up, they believe in it, then they should back you, right?
Yeah,
To the hilt, to where maybe they don't give you directorial, but you could be an advisor or producer, somewhat. They can put you in some lead capacity.
Yeah. At least, as my character, I'm gonna at least be a consultant. I wouldn't let him have it without that.
Yeah. And I think you're right. That's probably why Spawn hasn't gotten made. That's why.
I know conspiracy. Todd has talked about it many times.
I guarantee you, if he brought back Nexus, kids would or adults, whatever. I mean, it would have it would do as well as like the Orville or something like that. It would have a following.
Yeah. It's just, good good storytelling, good solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And it has that retro,
yeah,
it
that's
has
really
that
cool.
retro vibe to it, that retro Hanna-Barbera 60s vibe to it. I didn't
Yeah,
really know when we were looking at it, interviewing Steve, that's what he was going for. But wow, after seeing his cartoon, it's like, whoa, yeah, that's all Hanna-Barbera.
oh
Love
yeah,
that.
like
And
they
that
go
makes sense because he
credit
was
artists.
older than me. I remember it, but he really remembers it. Those were the cartoons he grew up on when he
Yeah.
was like 10 years old or younger. And so, yeah, that's going to be his jam. And
Oh
it's
hell yeah.
unfortunate more people you know, didn't take advantage of that themselves and
But
dive
that's
into
also
that because,
yeah, but that's also
but
kind of the cool thing because a lot of people are discovering that retro stuff now, and
yeah,
getting into it. Sorry, I burned up my first
behind the
batch of
scenes
garlic.
on Predator 2. Wow. Predators have a dance off. That's strange. Where they're in costume dancing. Have you ever have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
That's pretty wild. I think we'll leave that one alone. If you want to see it, I'll retweet it. You can go to my Twitter.
All right,
Under
that's fine.
Devil Flyer Momentum.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Hey, Timothy, what's happening, brother?
Yeah, Timothy said if they want his property, it'll be on his terms. My terms would get final say on all ideals.
There you go. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
why even bother if not? They're just gonna fucking take
right.
your property and destroy it if
Your
you don't.
vision. It needs to be your vision, and they need to believe enough. Either that,
I
or you
mean,
need to be like Chaplin. Okay, I'll do it myself. I'll build my own studio.
look at what they've done to DC and Marvel on all these new TV shows and streaming services. It's a fucking debacle.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the streaming wars are pretty much over with. You
Yeah,
know, but yeah, they're still hurting for content and content that people will watch. But again,
well, they still haven't
with
woken up from the being woke going broke thing yet.
go
A lot of
woke,
them.
go broke. Exactly right.
Look at the new Lord of the Rings, fucking the new Witcher series. They're
I
all
don't
going down in
care.
flames, man.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean, probably the one that's going to be the one that's most glaring is Avatar 2.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
It's
one.
going to lose money hand over fist. And it couldn't happen to, I mean, fine, great,
Yeah, do
love
you
it.
see the shit that James Cameron came out with lately? He's saying
Yeah.
he regrets making Terminator and all this other shit. What the fuck?
Oh, really? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, I know he said he cut some gun work out.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He came out and
of
said
it
he
because he didn't want to. Yeah, it's just like whatever,
fucking
dude.
stupid.
You just keep that
How you
up.
gonna how you gonna cut Terminator into a movie that has no gun when half of it is him shooting the other
Right.
Terminator? Come on.
I don't know. Is he proposing doing that?
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? You're either proud of what you've done or what you're not. Don't come out here and try to virtue signal. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that with before I knew better. Dude,
Right.
shut up.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. I got no time
Uh,
for you.
Well, I mean, all I can say is these people maybe believe that because they're isolated in their own little groups and but I mean, come on, man. Do you have any common sense? Can't you see what's going on? You can't really believe all this crap, right? I don't get it. I think even if I was isolated in that group, you've had a few come out. The guy that starred in Shawshank Redemption, he came out recently and was saying, "Yeah, I wouldn't have been pushing the vaccine had I known that, now the data, now that
Right,
some of
right.
the evidence has come out." So I don't know where he got the data or where he was listening, who he was listening to, but apparently,
Yeah, and he's a huge lefty too. But hey, I mean, hopefully that means more people will start to realize, what's been going on.
Another person like that we lost today as well. It seems like everybody wanted to die on this date. I don't know,
Jeez.
but was Debbie Reynolds, or yeah, Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds, isn't that Princess Leia's mom?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
In fact, here she is, and with her daughter in a little tribute to her. Debbie Reynolds. Poor Debbie Reynolds. Yeah. All right, it's coming up here. Where is it? There it is. I stopped it just right. There's her
She was
daughter.
a cutie when she was young.
Yeah. And this back here is with right there. You know who that is? Behind her?
No, all I could see was an arm and a leg.
Okay, right,
right
there.
there?
Whoop, right here. Yeah, in the yellow shirt.
Hold on.
Yeah, you had to blow it up.
That looks like I'm not sure.
Ray Bolger. Ray Bolger that played the Scarecrow.
Okay.
He was a dancer, comedian.
I was thinking of the guy from Hans Christian Andersen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She was a beauty by herself. Look at that.
Yeah, she's cute.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. I could see a little Carrie Fisher in there, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when she was younger. Yeah, I can see some traits there. Yeah. I think they're buried right side by side out there in Hollywood together.
Wow.
But yeah, we lost her 6 years ago today as well.
Wow.
Gotta go sometime. Man, you have 365 days of the year, right? To choose from.
Yeah,
and on leap year, you get one extra day.
That's right.
So spaghetti, what are you gonna have with your spaghetti?
So far just garlic bread. I don't know if what other we're gonna do any kind of veggies or anything. I might do something. Don't know what I got yet. I burnt up my first batch of garlic bread because we were talking and I forgot to set the timer.
So. Eric and Boyd says, I came in here so Rex can help bury my sanity. We're just glad you're here, Eric.
All right, Eric. Good to have you. We'll do our best
what it
for
takes.
your non-existent sanity.
Well, according to some, we're going to, does it really matter? I mean, according to some, we're going to be invaded by aliens anyway. Now, on this day, in 1974, Tom Baker made his first debut as Doctor Who in the first episode of Robot. How about that? After regenerating from Pertwee, the third Doctor. Here's a little bit. I don't want to play too much of this, but this is a little bit about how it looked.
Now, just a minute. Look, Brigadier, look. I think it's starting.
Well, here we go again.
Just a little transition there into Tom Baker. After 5 years of the third Doctor, and then Tom Baker, of course, did 7 years, and that was today. First full debut of Doctor Who in Robot, and that's been released on Blu-ray. If you want to watch it on Blu-ray,
Wow, cool.
I don't know if I have that one or not. I have 2 Tom Bakers, I think, at least one. I don't know if it's that one or not. I do have a couple, 2 or 3 of the Blu-rays. I'm slowly getting a little collection.
Yeah, I'm slowly putting together some Blu-rays. I got so many DVDs though. It's like I'm never gonna be able to replace them all.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter to me. In fact, I enjoy the Blu-rays better because you can stop a Blu-ray and pick up where you left off. A DVD, you can do that, but with a Blu-ray, not always. It's like it just skips and you have to start all over, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I actually do. I mean, some of the Blu-ray features are cooler, like the in-depth interviews and blah blah blah. But I mean, you get the same thing on most of the DVDs. I don't know.
Another person that passed away today, Rosemary. Remember Rosemary from the Little Rascals? Hey, Doc.
No.
Greetings, Maximus.
Yeah, I think I do.
You remember Rosemary from the Little Rascals?
I do, but I always called her Darlene in my head.
Boom. There she
Darla.
is later in life.
Oh, Rosemary.
Yeah, Rosemary. I never knew that she was our gang, that she was a Little Rascal. Yeah.
That's wild.
So, was her name on the Little Rascals or our gang Darlene?
No, that was a different girl.
Was it? Okay.
It was Darla.
Yeah, you're thinking Darla. Yeah, Rosemary. Yeah, she died on this date in 2017. What was she in? The Mary Tyler Moore show?
Dick Van Dyke show.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke. Okay, Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, with Mary Tyler Moore. Right.
Tell Eric Boyd, yes, this is indeed the obituary section of YouTube for seniors.
Well, some of these people need
old people party too, dude. Old people got to have fun too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not every day that you lose Stan Lee. He would have been 100 years ago today. Michelle Nichols, that was Uhura on the original Star Trek, she would have been 90 today. It's Marlena Dietrich. It's Marlena Dietrich's birthday. We've covered some other people that passed away.
All I got left is Kirk and Sulu, and they hate each other.
Yeah, they hate each other. Well, I'm on Kirk's side.
I am too.
Yeah. Fuck Sulu.
More to your liking here. The giant spider invasion.
Crushing.
Well, there you go. Always love me a giant monster.
Yeah, especially a creepy tarantula-looking spider. What's going on, Doc?
Man, I'm just
Hey, Joseph Dredd.
You ever had one of those days
Greg.
where it's time for bed and you finally wake up?
Yeah.
Like literally all day trying to wake up.
Uh-huh.
And then it's time to go to bed.
Mm.
I've had one of those today. Just could not get myself going.
Yeah.
Just couldn't. I'm moving through molasses.
I didn't want to. I was just going to go over and see my mother, come back home, but she had a whole list of things, not a big list, but a list of things that
The honeydew.
you know, a 3-way light bulb she wanted, some Robitussin, some of that Mucinex, you know, because she's getting over the flu, and I went to the dollar store and got her some disinfectant wipes. She didn't ask for those, but I got them for her. And then
You did tell her not to take the cough syrup and the Mucinex together, right?
Sorry, Doc.
no, I didn't know that. I will call her and let her know.
Yeah.
Well, she needs to read the box for sure.
Oh, I hadn't bought any of that stuff in like, God, I don't know how long, years now. And I was so sick last week with that flu or whatever the hell it was.
Uh-huh.
I went and bought some Robitussin extreme cold and flu. I got whatever the strongest shit I could find was, right? And I grabbed a few other things while I was at the grocery store. And I'm at the self-checkout lane, and I go to pay, and the little thing tells me, you've got an age-restricted product. You must wait for assistance. And I'm like, I don't have any alcohol. I don't have, you know, I'm like looking around going, where? And then I saw the Robitussin, and I was like, oh, you got to be shitting me. And sure enough, the lady came over there and ID'd me so I could get the damn cough medicine.
Yeah, we found that out. We order our food and have it delivered. Kroger and Walmart both do that. Put it right on the front door stoop. I love it. Anyway, this was back a year ago. I said, honey, order some Robitussin, man, because I didn't know it yet, but I had COVID. I was like, I got this cough. I can't shake it. Yeah, we can't deliver that. It's a controlled substance. I'm like, no, it's not. It's an over-the-counter cough syrup.
Right.
Not the same way you did.
Yeah. I had no idea, man. I'm standing
Now,
there.
why
you know,
should you
light
not
going
combine
off
those
at the
two?
thing. I'm like, oh,
Would
shit.
it be overload?
Yeah, they both contain guaifenesin.
Yeah.
Sometimes both of them contain dextromethorphan hydrobromide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is the good stuff, but that they don't like to tell you.
I'll
that
tell
anymore.
her she won't combine.
Well, I don't know if you remember or not, Doc. It was probably 10 years ago now or so. But when Alka-Seltzer Plus first came out, those things used to kick ass, man. The cold and flu Alka-Seltzer Plus were so good, and then like about 3 years in, they pulled them off the shelf for 6 months, and then they put them back out. They reformulated them.
Yeah, and they're not as good.
They don't work nowhere near as good as
Alka-Seltzer. I posted this, so I'm on public record. Alka-Seltzer got me through COVID. Period. Jack asked, does Walmart charge a delivery fee in the tip? There's no Walmart. There's no fee as long as you have like a $35 minimum. But we're buying for the month anyway, so we're past that.
Oh, okay.
And then you can tip your driver or not tip your driver. I always do because I want my eggs in one piece. But you know, back in the day, I tipped the bag boy anyway, so you know, not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, you always tip your driver, man. I mean, I always.
Yep, I tipped the UPS guy. I don't know why. I just did. Yeah. Oh, here, take your money.
There you go, dude. Love those brown shorts.
Whoa. Okay.
For rocking the brown shorts, here's $5. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Jeez, that was funny. Okay. Rex, are you looking for more obituaries?
I am. Yeah,
probably.
I'm waiting. I'm trying to find and see who else died today or was born
Rex
today.
has been on a morbid bend lately.
It hasn't all been morbid. It was like the first commercial movie was released today in 1895.
Eric.
I've got a tip. Don't eat yellow snow. Looking at you, Rex.
Rex, have you been eating yellow snow?
No, I have not. Nope.
That's not a lemon snow cone, right?
Now remember, you know, in about an hour and 15 minutes, we have to go on. Is it the high stream, or is it just with Belmont?
I'm not sure which. I don't think it's high stream. I think it's just Belmont's birthday stream.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, tell Belmont happy birthday for me. I only popped in to say hi to you guys, and then I got to go in here.
And it's KSS's birthday as well.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yep. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna get some work done.
All right, Doc. Well, always good to see you, my friend.
Very good. Very good.
Good to see you, gentlemen.
Good
And
to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Listen, I enjoyed it. Since it took all day to wake up, I figure I'll work all night and just be a zombie tomorrow and then sleep tomorrow night.
There you go.
There you go.
Got to do
I'm
what you
going
got.
to try and work on getting my sleep patterns down better. I wasn't going to do a coffee stream today. I was going to take it off, but I still woke up at 5:30 or whatever, and said, "Well, I might as well get up."
You do you, bro.
Huh?
You do you.
I knew I wasn't going to go back to bed. I had tacos, and once you get a little of that going on, it's like I got to get up,
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. The revenge.
So I just made the coffee, the hot chocolate. I did the whole thing,
Yes. Jack Stafford, take care. Eric Boyd, Joseph Dredd, excuse me. I think I saw a great picture. You guys have a great one. Peace out.
Peace.
Later, Doc.
Yeah, Shadow, if you want to end it right here, we can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you want to take a break for a little while, Rex? I'm gonna get the girls hooked up with dinner, get myself something to eat, and then we'll meet back up on the Belmont show.
Well, I hope so. He'll send me a birthday bash link. I'll certainly be there.
Okay.
I'll probably be there in the chat regardless. But
you might have one waiting already, Rex. I got one while we were
all right,
on.
let me check here real quick. You could be right. You could be right. I think today. Oh, yes, I do. All right, right on.
So there you go.
Already have the link.
Alrighty.
There you go. The link's good. I think for 24 hours. Is that right?
Should be. I think so. All right.
you
Well,
send
hey,
the link?
all anybody that's left in here, Eric, Jack Stafford, anybody else that's still here.
Yeah. Thanks for
y'all
dropping
for coming.
by, Eric. Go watch the replay.
There you go. All right, y'all.
Take care.
We'll see you on Belmont.
LCG.
Hey.
Keep collecting. Excel.